All right, just sitting here. I'm Joe Murray. Literally, I have just been sitting here, sitting there, sitting everywhere. Um, but today we got Matt Dolloff from 98.5 The Sports Hub joining us in just a little bit. He's from the content team, so we'll bring him in a minute. These have been fun. The just sitting here. I just want to let everyone know. Appreciate all the feedback. Appreciate everyone's time. That's how this thing started. I was bored. Obviously, with everything happening in the world, there's not as much airtime, and I wanted to continue to find ways to create content, whether it was sports related, whether it was not. So that's how this whole thing started, and a lot of great feedback. And of course, if you want to hear any of the past shows, Just Sitting Here is on Spotify, on YouTube, and on iTunes. The numbers are very good. I didn't do it for the numbers, but they've been very good. So I appreciate everyone's feedback. Today is going to be the last show with a guest for until the holiday weekend. And then tomorrow we'll do a Q&A. I'll kind of wrap that up at the end of the show today. But also some other things tonight. There's a wrestling Dark Side of the Ring tonight. It's about Owen Hart. So all you wrestling fans, you know about Owen Hart. It's a big one tonight. So I'll recap that one tomorrow as well. And there's some interesting actual sports stuff today that we can talk about. So that's why we're bringing Matt Dolloff in. And he is from 98.5 The Sports Hub. He writes on their content team. Matt is an interesting guy, I would say. He can do voices of others. He likes to write. He likes to mimic other stuff that's happening in the world. But welcome to Just Sitting Here, Matt. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I apologize for everyone who just turned it off because they don't know who I am.
No, we got 30 guests in the ringer right now, man. 31, 30. People can chat in, by the way.
So this shit is live.
Oh yeah, dude, we're live.
Okay.
And
I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, so right now we're on Twitter. So all of my Twitter audience is on. And if you want to jump in to your Twitter account and hit retweet, all of your Twitter people can then see you on. And I connected this to
Twitter's the worst place, but I'll retweet it.
And then if you go to your Facebook account, I actually already tagged you on it. So of your Facebook friends can now see. But yes, people can chat in and we'll bring that up here during the show. So Matt, what has been going on, man? Are you okay without sports? Has this been hard on you? Have you been finding other avenues? How has this pandemic, this COVID-19, and listen, it's okay to be selfish here on the show. Like, trust me, I get that there's people sick, there's people dying, like we're all mentally challenged right now.
It goes without saying, man. I feel like you shouldn't have to say that shit for people not to react like, oh, people are dead. It's like, well, people are dead every day. So I mean, I guess if we're gonna stop doing shit because people are dying, then I guess let's not do any podcast.
And listen, this whole thing that we've been doing here is like we're not being insensitive or anything like that. We're getting to know each other. Like that's what we do. Right, I bring someone on. Let's get to know you. Let's shoot the shit, and we'll go home. But how are you handling this? How's everything going with you?
I'd say it's been easier for me than probably a lot of people because I love sports, but I'm not it's not my only interest. I'm into a lot of different other things. So I mean, I've been able to pass the time and keep myself occupied with a lot of other different things that I've done. So I mean, I haven't really needed sports. Like I don't need to be watching a game every single night to be able to enjoy myself. But I wouldn't mind having the Stanley Cup playoffs back. But I'm into other things. So, I mean, I'm relatively okay. I'm not totally losing my shit.
All right, so that's what I actually. You're an interesting man. When you say my antennas right now are like, yeah. Whoa, what are the kind of interesting things? You
don't want to go down that road.
Well, we're going to in a minute here.
Okay.
But again, Matt Dolloff from 98.5 The Sports Hub. He writes a ton. You might hear his voice on the Adam Jones program as he's a guest on there. I've had him on the weekends as well. But this is how we start off every single podcast, Matt. And it's a big one. So if you could only be quarantined with one person from the Sports Hub, who would that person be?
One person from the entire sports hub. Oh, it's easy to say my boss, isn't it?
Oh, you're going to suck up to the boss?
No, I wouldn't suck up to it because he leaves me alone unless we do my own thing. So I feel like if we were quarantined, he'd do the same thing.
See, but, I feel like somebody like in a quarantine, like, you know, my pick was Dan Lifshatz, and the reason why
I couldn't do Lifshatz, but I understand why you would pick that.
Well, no, here's the deal. It has nothing to do with the gambling or any of that shit. It's just that when we're like partners because we let each other do each other's thing. Do you get it?
Yeah, you got
like,
chemistry.
Yeah, like Dan like screams at people and argues with people and makes friends with them that way. You know what I mean? So like everyone's like, Joe, you got to check your boy. Like, you know, there's just you're you're easy to talk to, and he's not. That's just what he does. So I don't get involved. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Yeah.
He like has his thoughts on his things, and he just does it. You know, like this is my like we put that line in the room. This is mine. That's yours, and we get along. So that and we don't really like we've hung out. It's funny. Like you do a show with somebody once, twice a week. You see the kid every week, and it's like I went out one night with our wives, and it was like, what do we talk about?
Right?
You know what I mean?
Let me run out of shit.
So I mean,
I all the time.
So I think you.
Twitter pages are a good example of how different you two are because he'll jump in the mud and fight with anybody about anything.
But that's
I always reply like, get it together over there, Lifshatz. Jesus,
don't you want someone in your foxhole like that though?
If I had to go argue with some idiot on Twitter, I guess he would be one of my tag team partners.
Real quick story. So we put together a tailgate at Gillette last year. It was the Cowboys game in at Gillette, and we got like T-shirts made. We had a tent. We got food. Like it was. We met Ryan Schwartz from the street team down there.
Oh, fucking, I know him.
Pouring,
well.
Dude. Fucking pouring, right? So we like.
I remember this game.
Yeah. So we get into the Rodman Center or whatever. And all of a sudden, people start noticing, like me and Dan. But like people chirp us, right? Like we might go fucking 10-1 in picks, but that one loss is like you guys suck. You know,
of course, that's what everyone remembers. Everyone remembers the bad beats and the losses. You know,
but dude, do you know how many people like walked up to us, said hello to us, and when they left, they were like, "Dude, why do people talk shit to you?" I'm a big dude, okay? Like, but I'm a friendly big dude, like. You piss me. It's like the nicest guys when you piss them off. That's you learn something. It's like the Big Show, right? And like
people wouldn't say shit to you in person because you're a large, imposing, very wide individual.
But the thing is, but Dan is like
when you sideways to get through a doorway. That's not someone I'm going to mess with, you know.
But Dan has the tick. Do you know what I'm saying?
Dan's a lunatic.
Yes, but like me, I'm just like, hey, what's up, man? Like, let's be cool.
Oh my God.
But like every single person was like, I don't know why anybody talks shit to you guys. I don't know why anybody calls you fat. And it's like, well, that's what Twitter is, right? Like you could,
right? Yeah,
you could get away with that. Anyways, long story short, we got soaked that day. They won the game, and we hit our bet, and that's all that matters. But who would you want to be quarantined with?
All right, if I had to pick a guy from the sports hub, I'll pick my guy Sean Silver, and here's why: because he's also really good at impressions, and we could put on some old wrestling clips and start cutting promos with each other. He can start doing his Macho Man. I'll do a little Stone Cold, something like that. I feel like we'd have fun if we had to hang out. We were forced to it.
Sean's the man. He's actually, and this isn't. I love everybody. Okay,
right?
Sean's my favorite guy to work with. Like, if they're gonna throw me for 5 hours at night, filling in for someone, I want Sean Silver. It's because I like to go off the rails. How serious can you take a lot of this shit, right? Like,
I try to take not much of it seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I'll never forget this. His fiance at the time was a lawyer, and the Deflategate shit was going on, and these terms were coming over. We had no fucking clue, none. And I'm like, dude, just text your wife. Text her. I'll fucking put her on the AT&T expert hotline. Like, what I mean? Yeah. Like, let's do it, man. But like, we like learned together, man. Like, we got thrown into the fire, and then after a while, like, I found out he likes the traveling Wilburys, which is right here.
Yeah. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah,
is that Stevie Ray Vaughan? I forgot who everyone who was in that.
No, so you got Tom Petty, you got Bob Dylan, you got George Harrison, Roy Orbison, and Jeff Lynne.
Okay, yeah, George Harrison is the one I forgot.
But dude, all right, and I might save this one for the weekend here. But they are the greatest supergroup of all time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, in my opinion,
I've honestly never thought about that.
put on the catalog.
But
write it
if
down.
you go by if you just look at it on paper, you look at the collection of talent. That's a pretty good pick.
It's a damn good pick. And like Tom Petty's
one
like
of the top picks you can make.
He's like in the background. It's like, oh, you got a Beatle, you got Bob Dylan, you got Roy Orbison, and the guy from ELO.
Yeah, when Tom Petty's your fourth guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Petty's your Steve Kerr.
Yes, exactly. But Silver's great, man. Like, you know, and he's kind of similar to you in a point where, you know, you guys are sports fans. You might have interests in other things, but you know, when you discuss sports, you're kind of painting a picture or putting humor to it. You know,
I try.
I would say that's probably your approach. Is that wrong?
Or, no.
I think I nailed that.
Correct. Like what I've learned from 2 years being at the Sports Hub full time. Well, really 5 years full time writing sports is that I just can't take the negative shit too much. You know, it's like at the end of the day, how negative can you really be? You can't be bitching about everything all the time, and especially like in this day and age with how much this city is won. I just can't. I don't consider myself part of that whole thing. Like if I think something's bad, I'll say it. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of try to let shit roll off my back and try to joke about it. If you don't think it's funny, that's fine. But I mean, I don't get the whole like getting pissed off and arguing with people that you don't even know.
All right, so I do get sometimes I do. I can't. I don't know what it is. Like I'm kind of the guy, like, this is the hill I'm going to die on, and I'll fight you for it. Like
I'm on some hills. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not above it. Like, I'll always die on a hill, and then I feel like a piece of shit for about 3 hours, and then I like get off Twitter for a month, and then
dude, if there's
then I'll start diving back in, and the cycle repeats.
So here's the deal,
this place is dangerous.
I've been in radio for 13 years. Okay, I'm still part time. I've been full time at other stations. Like, I'm in a grind at the Sports Up here. We all know what it's like, right? It's about the ratings and paying the bills and sponsorships and all that bullshit. That's what it's about. And, you know, the Sports Hub's a well-oiled machine, right? Why fuck up a good thing? And, yeah, we all want our opportunities. I'll share a few of those things quickly in a bit, just from some of the guys that are on your team and where they've been before to where they are now. But where I'm going with this is that, you know, you can't be successful in this if you don't fail a little bit, and you have to swing and miss. Like, dude, one day I was just like, all right, let's do our swing and miss takes that you said that just didn't work out. Like, I'll bring up one. The Red Sox signed JD Martinez. He hit 0 home runs in spring training, and I go, no way that dude hits 30 home runs this year. He hits fucking 40. You know what I mean? Like, that
was a good one.
But that's a swing and mistake. You know, you just swing and you miss, but you got to own it, right? If you're gonna say it and it doesn't have, like Dan Lifshatz, to this day, Pat Mahomes is gonna be a bust. You know what I mean? And like I still to this day, I'm like, Dan, I can't let you live that one down. But he did take Lamar Jackson to be the MVP last year, so it's kind of like a give. We hit some, we lose some. But at the same time, if you're going to be successful, you got to swing and miss, man.
Yeah, I got one, but quickly. Yeah, I'm probably going to take a swing on Lamar Jackson at some point this offseason. I might miss, but I don't. Like, are we sold on him? Is this guy still going to be good after 1 year? Because how many times have we seen these guys have one like epic year, and then everyone jumps on the train, and then you get to the next year, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe this guy isn't going to be a perennial MVP candidate. Well,
did he show like that loss last year? I didn't think he was the reason. Like, I
wouldn't say he's the reason. No, I think he
run the football. Guys
he had reason to criticize him for how he played at certain points, but he wasn't the reason they lost. No.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I don't know if there's, you know, like Baker Mayfield's a guy I might say that about. Maybe he has he has to have a bounce back year. Yeah, Mahomes I think is the real deal, and I don't know if it's because, dude, the way that he throws the football downfield, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it like that. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. But Mahomes, he had a second great year, and he came through in the clutch of the Super Bowl. So you got to give Mahomes credit now. That's what I put my value on.
Okay, there's people checking in. Do I bet on table tennis? No. The real brick is checking in. Just waiting here for Matt to do an impromptu Felger Maz bit. Whenever you want.
Well, if I do it now, it's not impromptu.
That's what I mean. So whenever you want to pop that out there, you do it. Just a couple of things quickly. You mentioned, you don't really care about sports right now, and all right. So
I didn't say that.
No. You're okay.
You can survive without it.
You said you're into other things. So
I need Stanley Cup playoffs back.
Okay.
If I could survive with just that, if that's all they were going to bring back. But continue, sorry.
It looks like we're close. No, but listen, Governor Baker, the guy has an announcement on sports, and it's like, all right, no fans, like no Fenway Park, this summer. We're fine. No sweet. Do you think they'll still play Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning? And by the way, know what I want to give you credit for? We're jumping, but that's fine. That's what we do. It's a fucking podcast. Know what I like that you did, by the way?
What's that?
Tom Brady's a free agent, right? And
it's like, I think I know where you're going.
And it's like Tom Brady's eating pizza from a Memphis place. He's going to Tennessee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tom Brady's kissing Giselle, and she's wearing this. So maybe what we saw in this is that Tom Brady likes this and likes that. So he might be going
There's
there.
A golden sun and a blue sky. This must mean he's going to the LA Chargers. And if you don't believe this, you're a piece of shit.
Where did that come from, dude? Were you just like, we don't know where he's going, so let's have fun with it?
At that point, I was just so sick of the Brady talk at that point. Oh my god, it was every second on Felger Maz, It's like, how could you believe this is not an absolute dumpster fire right now? And I mean, he ended up leaving, so it's like, I never said you're an asshole if you think he's going to leave, because it actually might have been my first on-air appearance ever on the Sports Hub with you. It was either you or Adam Jones. It was one of my first appearances ever where you asked me, someone asked me, do you see Tom Brady play in another uniform? I was like, guys, it's probably going to happen. If the guy really wants to play till he's 45, it's not going to be with the Patriots the whole entire time. You're not going to have the greatest player ever spend 25 years with one team, win the Super Bowl, go out at they're already the most unprecedented franchise ever. And this fairy tale ending where they're going to win with him going off into the sunset and he's going to spend his whole career. I never thought that was too realistic.
Yeah. But think about it. You're writing for the website of the flagship of the New England Patriots. And you're just like, oh, well, he's wearing this. So maybe it's blue. so maybe that means it's the joke. But you were fucking mocking everything. But it was funny because wasn't that the talk of Twitter? Right? Wasn't that kind of
it went super viral. It got a lot of hits. And the people on Facebook, I think, were none too pleased with me because they don't get humor and they don't understand satire or sarcasm. So it's like, I'm the worst person that ever existed because I just wanted to make you laugh about something.
But it's creative, right? It's
trying. It's
different writing. I was just
I've thrown shit out like that. Like you said before, you're gonna fail a little bit before you succeed. I've thrown shit out like that before.
But that's funny. That was
no reaction, and this one finally got a pretty big reaction because it's the kind of thing where it's like, with the internet and social media memes, it almost could have been someone's actual opinion. I think you got to strike the balance between where it's the craziest thing I've ever read, but there's a shred of possibility that this guy actually means it.
I don't know where I saw this the other day. I was definitely on Instagram, but I can't source it. But they found some kid in Germany who's never been to America. And they give him a map of the United States, and they're like, "All right, fill out the states." So imagine giving a German kid a map of the United States. All right, you got to fill out the map.
First, Wyoming.
So he gets it, and he goes, he just writes, "This is definitely Texas," on the bottom where Texas is. He has no clue what's New York to Boston, man. He has no clue what's there. He just wrote, I have no clue. And then he's like, this might be California. This might be Ohio. And it's just I'm dying laughing because it's he's not wrong. It might.
Yeah. You grew up with just that being common sense where all the states are, and then you get this guy who's has no clue. I'd be the same thing with where's Poland? I wouldn't be able to,
But I don't know what it was, but I died laughing. It was the funniest thing because he's trying, he doesn't know, but it got hits. It got people to like it, and like now I want to see what else the guy is into. Like what else? Like I don't know what it is. So is that what it's like with writing? Like, dude, I'm not a good. I've tried to write. I've written blogs in the past, and like, you know, and just kind of like tell you my story a little bit. Like I was an athlete. I played sports. I played 3 sports. I was very competitive for a long time. Like I was a big kid, so I played football. I played baseball, softball for years. Like I was on a basketball team that had kids. We won a championship and like whatever.
Were you the kid that when you came up to the plate, the kids were like, "Everybody back up! Get to the wall!"
I was a lefty. I was a lefty, and they were like, "Shift." My nickname was Mojo. my nickname was Mojo growing up. I was a lefty.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And Mo Vaughn was like the fucking guy at the time.
Oh
yeah. But yeah, so like I know sports, but I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, the 3-4 technique, and oh, look at fucking the second level, and watch the safety come into the box, and they're like, he really protected the outside. I can do that. If you really want me to do it, I can do it. But when I first started at the Sports Hub, because I was other play, dude, I started at 1510 The Zone, which we all know the story there. It tried to be a competitor, it didn't work out. They had the rights to the Celtics, and they lost all their money. Right. I went to 890 ESPN, dude. I was there for fucking 2 months, and it became a salsa dancing station. Right. I was in ESPN New Hampshire, and like, it was New Hampshire. Like, you know what I mean? It was just, I don't know how else to say it. I wanted to be in radio so bad. I worked for a financial radio station. Oh, wow. They let me do a great guy, Barry Armstrong. He's part of the Financial Exchange, which is on WRKO. And other affiliates, and we did stuff with Howie Carr and all that shit. But I wanted to be in radio so bad, dude, that like they gave me a sports show in the morning, and the rest of the day it was business news. But I sold advertising, helped them, like I learned behind the scenes. But I was no one. I didn't cover a team. I wasn't in a locker room yet. Like, I took a job on the North Shore to cover. They had the rights to the Red Sox, and I get to cover the Red Sox a little bit and like talk about the games, but. When I first started the sports, I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like technically, I was just kind of a fan who got on the radio and was doing it for a while, and then all right, yeah, let's get you hired. And I hosted a show, but like that's the most difficult thing, man. Is like, Felger's covered the Bruins and the Patriots during their heyday. Tony Mass covered the fucking.
Those guys have both been sports nerds their whole life.
But you know what I'm saying? Like Toucher and Rich are these true fucking pros. Like, you know what I mean? Hardy is a fucking pro. Like Zoe played in the NFL. Like Jones, for that matter, has been at ESPN. Dude, Jones was hosting like Mike and Mike and all these other shows on television on a national platform. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, when you look at a lot of the guys we work with, Chris Gasper wrote for the Globe. Now he's at Channel 5. Like, Ted Johnson played in the league. We had Wiggy for a period of time. Like, all the fucking hockey guys, forget it. Ryan Johnson, you name it. Like these guys. So here's this fucking guy coming in. I was just a passionate sport fan. And that's my thing is like, all right, when I first started, it was like, all right, yeah, the Patriots are going to go to the regular level, blah. It didn't work out. It didn't work. It just didn't work. And one day I was like, all right, I talk gambling. Maybe I'll bring up gambling one day. And it worked. It was like, oh shit, people like gambling. And then I was like,
really? So you weren't like into gambling and then did it on the radio?
No,
I came first?
No, I actually did a gambling show in ESPN and it did well.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't a big draw here because it's not legal. So now in New Hampshire and everything, whatever. But long story short, it was kind of like, who the fuck's this guy? And I'm giving my takes and my opinions. And yeah, I knew about sports, but it wasn't good enough. And then after a while, it's kind of like, all right, well, I'm going to start talking about what pisses me off. I got fucked up last night and what happened. And like, this is the TV show that I watched and here's my thoughts. And that's the shit that people care about. So when you write, you do have to associate yourself differently than the guy who's in the locker room with the Bruins or the guy that knows how to paint a picture from something that happened that he grew up to. Right? I mean, the writing's fucking not easy, man.
It's not. Well, for me, especially because I don't know if I have the right personality type to, be like a truly like great, successful beat writer / reporter. I think that's what I've learned about myself the last couple of years. I've had an unbelievable time covering the Patriots and the Bruins on 2 playoff runs. And I mean, I love the games. I love covering the teams and all that. But I mean, it's such a grind to be in the locker room all day. And then you have to, get information or quotes out of players. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know if that's really for me. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with the upcoming season. But I don't know. I try to have fun with it. But like you said, like I grew up on shows like the one you just described, like Opie and Anthony. My parents would let me listen to Howard Stern on the way to school when I was like 10. I don't know how appropriate that was, but like that's the kind of shit I grew up on. You know, Toucher and Rich is the same kind of show. I listened to them on BCN for years before they even came to the Sports Hub. You know, I want to have fun with it, and like I'm not sure I was the most comfortable the last couple of years when I was in like a setting where I have to go to the in the locker room and interview players. Like I don't know if I'm going to put out the best content that I can make doing that. If I go back in there, I'm probably going to do something a little differently from what I've been doing, which is like you said, like I don't know how good I could be at breaking down like every little detail, especially with football, because I never even played football, but like I fell into it because they were the Patriots, best team in the league, and we really didn't have anybody else at the time when I came aboard to like be the full-time digital writer for us. So I mean, it's sort of just what I fell into. And then during the 2018 World Series when I started doing those Felger parodies, and that's what's really taken off. And I've tripled my following on Twitter and all that. So I mean, I really want to start doing more stuff like that. So I mean, if you follow me, if you're into that sort of shit that I do, then just be patient, and I'll give you more of that moving forward.
Yeah, maybe
I think that's what I'm really good at.
Maybe you can make a TikTok or something. You know.
I made an account and I was starting thinking about it. I know, Julie Russell, who does our promotions. I was gonna say
Julie can help you. Kristen Sermon, she's a fucking pro.
Oh really?
Okay. Yeah, she's like a pro. She's doing like dances. Like she's doing one dance.
I'm not gonna do that shit. I don't dance. I'm super awkward. I'm a lunatic. I don't dance. But if I dance, it would be like a parody of like a purposely terrible dancing or something like that. But I was thinking of trying to start to do like skits, maybe things like that.
Yeah.
So that there is going to be more content coming out, but it's going to be more in that direction. Right?
Okay.
I want to make you smile and laugh, and
all right.
If it pisses you off, that's your problem. That's what I'm going to say.
Good. I like that mentality because.
But I'm not going to try to piss people off. Is what I'm saying.
I'm going to tell you this, Matt. It's either like, either people like you or they don't, and if they do or don't, that means you're doing your shit right. You can't have everybody like you, man. You can't. It's just it's impossible. And I'm telling you, you're doing your job right if you get two sides of the street, but if you get support, it's also good too, because people know, hey, keep doing this or keep trying that or keep doing that because they like it. And again, dude, I'm not a pro. I've just been around, you know what I mean? I'm like one of these fucking grinders who's like, all right, well, let's try this. And I'm always sharpening the pencil. You know what I mean? It's like, so like, that's why this stream that I'm doing, one thing that your content team is doing over at 98.5 The Sports Hub is there's a green room now. There's fucking cameras. You guys are trying to do things. The Facebook Live thing with Felger and Maz is a great thing. Bringing different guys in and getting to know them. It's kind of this type of format. Get to let loose a little bit and talk about random things. And hey, if people chat in, like let's bring up the chat. So that's the stuff the content team's doing. What I want to ask you this, and I'm glad you said that things are on the way, because you guys have probably had some time to really get that fucking itch, right? Like, oh man, we got to do this. We got to start doing that.
Like, we haven't done a podcast in like 2 months, so this is going to be a good tune-up. We're probably going to hopefully try to get one out. Next week or so.
And dude, like, this is why I did this, because I can't hold the shit in. I can't do it. Like for me, I can't just sit and wait. It's a thing of mine. I can't. I got to get it out there. It's just that's how I do it. So like when you guys get going, it's gonna be good. But I want to ask you this, and it kind of dips into your story a little bit here. Okay. There's a myth between listeners that there's a beef between 98.5 and WEEI and what they do. It's bullshit. It's not. There's none of that. We like some of the guys. It's fine. I like the guys over there, or I at least like some guys who work there. I respect some guys who work there. I think their website is very good. I do, and you can have your own opinion, whatever. But like I don't know what it is. It's like a fucking well-oiled machine when it comes to their site. And I don't know if it's just one dude writing stories or they're just putting something together. And I won't say everything has an opinion. Sometimes it's just a story, No,
they have a deep team. They got people with experience over there.
But what I'm saying is like, when is the Sports Hub website ever going to get to that where it's like, because right now it's a traditional site, right? I mean, it's hey, what you need here is, and here's the podcast, and here's the reviews. And I recently you reached out to us and said that, hey, we're diving deeper into these podcasts now. We want to fucking isolate some things. Like you guys brought Alex Barth on the team a while ago, who I like.
Yep.
That's a young up and coming kid who's
Love Alex.
Been in the fucking locker room. He's worked for other affiliates. He's hungry. You know what I mean? Like, and he's
passionate. That's what I love about him.
Passion, exactly, and that's what you need here. But like, I don't know. I'm not criticizing because I know there's a lot of work, and dude, I understand there's a lot of hurdles with upper management. I get it. Like I people don't understand that with the sports hub, but like, do you want the site to get there, or do you like the fact that it's somewhat controlled?
Well, what do you mean by like get there? Like, at what point are you describing? Like, what's
like
the
I'm
point
talking about? Like, you go to the page and there's your top stories right here, and like it's kind of like a really nice setting for them. I don't know. Again, you talk shit to me. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm confused about what you're saying is the difference between the two sites. I guess is what I'm confused about.
I don't know. I don't know if theirs is cleaner. I don't know. Tell me.
Oh, you're just talking about like the design?
Yeah, you tell me.
Oh, I don't touch the design. I didn't design the thing. I just write.
But do you ever does anyone ever talk to you about this?
I just correct typos because half the people that write a podcast are fucking illiterate at the Sports Hub. So I have to go in. I have no choice but to go in there and rewrite shit sometimes.
So you're just doing your job, basically. But like I don't know.
Doing my job. Like this is the whole thing. It's like people see that I work at the Sports Hub. Oh, you're automatically fucking Hitler. So it's like you don't even know me. It's like it goes Hitler, me, Pol Pot, Idi Amin, Felger. That's like the rankings of the worst people that ever existed on the planet.
But for you, you're just writing the stories.
I'm mainly just writing and editing, and like that's my job there. And I'll do the podcast with Ty when we're able to get in the fucking studio.
But it gets you on the air, right? Did you ever think you wanted to be on the air?
I honestly never really thought about being a radio guy, to be honest. Like I applied to the job because it was writing for the website.
Yeah.
The original job, the funny thing is the original job was for 98.5 thesportshub.com because that used to exist back when our parent company was CBS Radio. And I applied to CBS Radio Boston and it was for 98.5 thesportshub.com. And that's how I started. I don't know if my original stories exist anymore, but did you ever meet Gino Knight?
Oh yeah.
I think that was, you know Gino?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that might have been before your time and you never met him. But yeah, he was my first boss. And he was really pushing me like to be like Felger, basically. Like you got to have takes, you got to be controversial and polarizing, get people's attention. So it's like, I don't know if they still exist on the internet anywhere, but if you went back and read some of those old articles I wrote in the first like couple months, like the takes had to be like completely outrageous. It was probably like a PFT comment or column or something.
Well,
but
there was a day where
I was a 23-year-old kid. Like what the fuck did I know about sport?
There was a day where I was like, who the fuck is Matt Dolloff? And they're like, I don't even know. Is it Dolloff? Is it Dolloff? Like
that still happens.
And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then like I was like, Mike Hurley one day was like, oh, you know me? I'm like, nope. And then I don't know how I met you. I actually think we were drinking. I actually think one day like we were drinking. You're like talking to me, and I'm like, are you fucking Matt Dolloff?
One of the first time we met each other in person was at the Beatle karaoke event. So,
all right, there we go. Yeah, so I was drinking. All right,
we were drinking. Yeah, it was funny. Like that's my fault, man, because I always kept to myself.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I don't.
Performance reviews were always like, yeah, you should probably like leave your desk more often.
Yeah, but dude, here's the deal.
I just kept to myself. I'm not into the whole like go around and fucking talk to everybody and gossip and all that shit. I just want to go do work and go home. But dude, it's not that it's personal against anybody.
It's good to
people took it personally, I think, because they want to have those like people desire those interactions.
Dude,
I'm a little weird, so I'm not really into that shit. So it's like,
well, I'll tell you this much though: when you're a writer, you should be. And the only reason why is this: I'll never forget this. But the first time I ever heard Chris Rucker talk, like people used to always be like, "Oh, he's the Ruck," like
Dude.
I heard him talk hockey to me. He talked hockey to me one day, and I was like, I need to get him on the air. I was like, I need to do the Ruck segment. Like this has to happen.
Yeah, it's like, how are we not using this guy's voice?
And literally, like, it just Lifshat, same thing. I met Lifshat, and I'm like, he's an angry fellow. And like one day he's like, Joe, you know nothing about fucking gambling, nothing. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, here's my fucking money. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, and that's how we became. Exactly. That's how you have to.
Commercial.
That's how it works with him. You have to like argue with him. It's how it works.
Yeah.
But for you, like, they see your writing and you're like, oh shit, he wrote this. Why don't we get him on the show and fucking bust his balls? I disagree with, but like that's how it works, man. Because think about it, the writers that are in the locker room and shit, they see them. We just watched the Jordan documentary, which we'll get into, but like, how many times did he call someone? Oh, you wrote that, and you wrote this, and you were wrong. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like Brad Marchand busts fucking Ty's balls all the time, right? Like, like Joe Haggerty still gets it from all the guys. Like DJ, I'm sure. No, I know, but what I'm saying is they get it though. Like they're writing, anything that they say, they're getting chirped at. That's good. That's good for business.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to. I want to be genuine about it. I wouldn't want to like throw shit out there just to get players to chirp at me. I'm not saying that Joe Haggerty or Ty or anyone does that. I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but that's just not what I want. Yeah. Like I'll make a joke about something, maybe talk some shit, and then they might take offense to it or something. But
like you won't call him a pissant or something like that. Alex, I love you. Alex, I love you.
I'm not a confrontational person. I got like, I'm not saying I'm that funny, but like I have the mindset of like a comedian where I'll just say fucked up shit to make people laugh, and maybe I won't say it in the right setting at certain times, and maybe get other adults shitting their chest like, this guy's gotta be under his bonnet hair.
All right, Matt, where are you from?
North Andover, Massachusetts.
Oh, so you're from North Andover. Okay, I didn't know.
Oh
that.
yeah, Massachusetts.
I didn't know you were like a mass hole, basically.
Oh, did I strike you as someone who moved from New York or something like that?
No, you reminded me of a transplant. Like maybe you were from like Vermont or Maine or something.
I come from like Sandusky, Ohio, so like someone random.
Yeah, exactly. So you're from So I didn't know that. So you're from there, and you went to school locally and all that shit. Where'd you go to college?
Yeah, I went to Northeastern.
All right, so you're a Husky.
Yeah.
So like you, Jones, Tom Giles is another Husky.
Yeah, Tom Giles.
It was Jay Deere at one point was part of that.
Patrice O'Neill, the legendary comedian.
That's right.
Northeastern.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if he went all 4 years, but
were you like a Beanpot guy? Like you'd go to the Beanpot and shit.
It was a party. This was during a time where Northeastern sucked and wasn't going to win the Beanpot, and we just accepted it. So we would just go just to drink and enjoy the game.
Yeah,
it was BU or BC every year back when I went. Now Northeastern's like the best team.
What was the bar? Connor Larkins.
Oh yeah, Connor Larkins. Yeah.
They sponsored me way back in the day. I used to chase down sponsors, and they were like, "Yeah, we like the Sports Blast. I want to sponsor." I'm like, "Boom, thank you."
My freshman year dorm was at the YMCA, across the street from Connor Larkins on Huntington Ave. And half the building was like a halfway house or something like that, where like troubled people, we would like have to cross them going in through the elevator and all that, and then we'd go up to our dorms, which are obviously complete shitholes. And but what happened is we rallied around each other and partied till 3 a.m. and we're just like, all right, we're gonna make the most of it. They stuck us in fucking deck house, and now we gotta make the most of our opportunity here.
So you went to Northeastern, and then like did you just like start writing? Did you write for someone? Like how did your journey begin to the sports?
This is interestingly enough, like my dream originally was to be like in movies, show business, to write like a movie, or a TV show or whatever. Because going into college, I watched The Sopranos when it was on. I was way into movies at the time. Got way into like the Tarantinos and the Scorseses of the world, and like all those cool movies from the 90s. And like that's what I wanted to do. And I realized it was a pipe dream, but I was like, I just got there and I was like, I just want to write. I just want to do something where I can have that kind of outlet. And I guess I could have done like an English major or something, but I chose journalism ultimately because they said like, well, documentaries are a form of journalism. You can learn about that. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. I'll do that. And so, yeah, I did learn how to like documentary production. Like I took classes like that, but I got into journalism 101. And by the end of that, I was like, oh, this is painful. This is not something that I want to be doing all the time, doing every day with the way you have to grind as a reporter and pester people for information, and nobody likes you and you want to die and all that stuff. I don't want to do any of that shit. So, I just progressed through college realizing that like I want to entertain people, but I want to learn the skills that you need. So I learned how to, cut audio, put videos together, and kept writing, and learned about blogging, which was like blogging was still relatively like a new medium back when I was in school, like 06, 07.
Yeah.
That's when I started doing like my own blogs on blogger.com. Like I did some of it for class, but I started doing like on my own time. And that's just what I wanted to do. And I started getting freelance writing jobs like during my senior year of college, and then I applied to the Sports Hub because I was way into sports at the time. Because like the Patriots were, the main thing in town. The Bruins were getting good again, and the Celtics had just won. So it's like I lived through a hell of a time to be a Boston sports fan in college. 06 to 10. There's some good stuff in there. So I mean, I guess that's what drew me to sports writing by the end of it. But I mean, the more I've progressed through this, like I love writing, but I want to be entertaining more than like have to be like a serious journalist or anything like that.
Did you like work like another job in between? Like I was in the automotive business for years, dude. Like that's how I got into it. I was driving cars and I'm listening to sports radio, and one day I like was listening to Mike Adams and come to find out like Mike's doing nights at EEI and he's fucking selling cars during the day. And I actually ran into him one day and I'm like, so dude, you like do this during the day and then you're like on the radio at night? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I've done a bunch of shit on the side. I've done fucking Uber driving to make a little extra cash. I've done a lot of freelance writing over the past 10 years, but I'm lucky, man. I got the job right out of school. Basically I graduated in May and I had the job by that August. It's crazy to think that it was only 1 year into the Sports Hub when I first
and you got and you fucking got right in.
I've been with our parent company for 10 years. Like I was at CBS Radio from 2010 until it got spun off to Entercom for a brief period, and then we got spun off to the Beasley Media Group. I've been with the Sports Hub basically the whole time.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was like a 5-year detour at CBS Radio where I was writing just music shit. For a lot of classic rock articles. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if those survived either. That's the problem. I might have PDFs of them.
Or no shit. I didn't know that.
About Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, Tom Petty, and anything for WZLX. So
that's great.
Classic rock station.
So yeah, I like Mike.
Fun, but they eventually moved me back to sports in 2015. But I've done a lot of different side gigs. But the full time part, I've been very lucky to hold on to it for 8 years. Maybe that's because I'm a company man.
Yeah. Well, the more you
and go home, no complaints.
I gotta find that meme. The more you know. I gotta get that one on the just
What's
sitting
that?
here. The GIF. The more you know. GIF.
The GIF. Which factor you mean to highlight now?
You just did the. I didn't know that about you. Like you just
which
popped
part,
up. Well, I didn't know you were like writing about music.
Oh yeah, a lot of that stuff.
I gotta add that to the archive page. Like that.
Well, you reminded me. I gotta go. I want to go see if I can still find them on there because I think their new website deleted my shit. So I don't know. Maybe I saved it somewhere. Hopefully, that's the thing these days with if you want to like clips, writing samples, you gotta save that shit because you never know when the website you wrote for is gonna go under or redesign or whatever.
I've saved everything I've ever had. There you go. The more you know. I gotta add that one to the rotation there of
that is pretty good. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's interesting about you. So you really just you were working for the company, but now you're writing for the Sports Hub full time for the digital content team. It's funny. Like I think of a kid like Ty Anderson, and I'm like, all right, Ty, I know you're ready. Yeah, I've been asking people like, hey, like, what did you like do for jobs before? Because like, dude, I've been, like I said, I was in the automotive business. I worked for the last couple of years. I've been in SaaS sales, like doing inside sales work. Like I worked for a company called Car Gurus. I worked for a catering company called Easy K. I worked at TripAdvisor for a little while. Like I've tried to do marketing. It's not easy balancing a real job, man, and doing it. It's just it's fucking hard.
Just gotta put the hours in.
But the grind is there.
Yep.
So I did, yeah, that's interesting. And I like wonder like what Tim do? Like now I'm like, oh, what do these guys all do?
Yeah, Ty was a bartender. That's the only job
a straight edge bartender is like capitalizing on the market. Right.
Yeah. He's totally clear and lucid the whole night. Doesn't care what's going on and anything. He's like, oh, okay, you want an old fashioned? I don't know what that is, but okay.
Somebody just tweeted at me. Oh my God, please, Mike.
Oh my God, please, Mike. This thing sucks.
All right, can we let's talk about something. All right, we'll get into the fun stuff here, okay? Because we've 45 minutes of bullshit. It's fun. But yesterday on Felger and Mess, I actually got called in for Toucher and Rich yesterday, and it all got squared away today. Whatever. Okay, but Felger and Mess were like, yeah, it's re-entry Monday. And there was sports this weekend. There was Bundesliga, there was golf, and there was NASCAR. And I'm watching the show for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, are these motherfuckers really going to talk about the Bundesliga right now? Are they really
do a whole segment?
Are they really going to talk about NASCAR right now? And dude, for like, I don't know, an hour, they were trying to justify which is the one sport you want to watch. Like, okay, these guys are the number one sports show in fucking the country. Let's face it. Okay.
Are they like? I mean, I don't know what it is relative to the rest of the country, but I know they win the awards like best show in the country.
Okay,
but ratings wise, obviously they're very dominating Boston.
It's just funny to me that like, yeah, those were three big things, and I don't know. In my head, I'm like, wow, yeah, we did have sports this week. Actually, I think UFC was the biggest event because they had 3 and 8 nights and the blueprint of fucking moving on in this Corona bullshit. You know
I watched
saying?
UFC. That was fun.
That wasn't even mentioned, by the way.
They did, yeah. How do you not bring up UFC? Fucker just hates UFC.
I don't even. He
hates it for the same reason I used to not really be into it. I'm not into the grappling and laying there hugging each other for 5 minutes.
Oh, dude, some dude.
I've watched strikers all day.
Yeah, his fucking teeth were getting knocked out, and they were like, "I gotta stop the fight or what?" Anyways, and this isn't me shitting on them. It's just that like they can do it. I can't do it. I can't. There was no way that I could have talked about the Bundesliga fucking soccer. I couldn't do it. Right. NASCAR out. Okay, out.
We're gonna turn left and we're gonna turn left again. You remember that South Park?
But like golf, yes. Actually, great reference. But like, golf, yeah. Okay, yeah. The guy they won 11 of 18 skins and hit a walk off, and like, yeah, fun, yay, yeah, golf. I don't know how they do it.
Dogger has a gift for striking a chord. Like anybody can go like, say shit there. You listen to him and be like, does this guy really believe what he's saying? But not everybody can, be the highest rated program doing that.
Interesting take on that.
And that's the thing. Like it's like people expect me to like hate Thugger Baz or bust into the studio and punch him in the face because he said something negative about the. It's like, it's like it's not like it's a bad place to work at the sports hub. Everybody likes each other. Everybody supports each other. All that shit. But it's like I don't have to agree with the takes. I think the takes are ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm not. I
like to say like you can just laugh at it sometimes. Like the guys they're being outrageous. So whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why people let it piss them off so much. Like Felger just has that thing where like you just I don't know. No, it's like an innate ability to really like.
It's a true sports show. It really is. I mean, it truly is. And again, this isn't me shitting on them or anything to that degree. But what I gathered out of it was, if that's what we're forcing, like then like either we really need sports back or we really don't. Don't get me wrong. I'll bet on fucking babies crawling half court in basketball. The Dr. Pepper challenge during half times. Like I'll bet on fucking. Do you want to get 2 tarantulas and have them race? I'm in. Like you want to roll balls down the fucking stairs? Let's do it. Like I'll bet on anything. So I don't need sports to bet. Okay, like I'll fucking play. We can play dice. We can play cards. Like whatever. Okay.
Start flipping coins.
But like baseball, do I need it right now? No, I don't.
Baseball?
I don't. And this isn't about the sport or anything like that. Like I loved baseball growing up. Okay.
That was my first true love was the Pedro Red Sox when I started really getting into sports.
But we don't.
I started like understood what was going on.
But we don't need it. All right. Now you keep talking. You keep referencing hockey. If we could get NHL playoffs without a crowd, I'm interested. I don't know. I'm. Is it the same? And I want it to come back. I really do. I hope it's good. But like, in a way, this absence has made me wonder if we really need it.
The whole like fake fans, mannequins in restaurants thing is really cracking me up. Like, it's like, is this how insane we've gotten as people? Is that we'd rather stick a fucking mannequin in the stands or like CGI fans
or robots?
Because we can't handle an empty arena or like guys yelling at each other. We can hear the players and all that stuff.
Cardboard cutouts.
We'd rather go through all that work. The thing is, if they did CGI fans, we'd be more creeped out. Like if you put like a fake, like a CGI person looks creepy. Have you ever heard of the uncanny valley effect? That's what that is. Like, have you ever seen these movies where it's like CGI, but it's like really realistic looking people, but it's CGI?
Like,
you ever creeped out by that shit?
Yeah, what was that
like
movie?
Lifelike, like human robot, like that shit. That like naturally creeps people out.
Yeah, I forget the name of that movie. It was the first fucking Avatar.
Yeah,
That kind of
Avatar.
freaks me out.
Avatar, the effects were good enough where like it sort of like didn't really creep you out as much.
Yeah.
Plus, they were like blue lizards or whatever the hell they were. But yeah, like I think if they started putting fake fans on a sports broadcast, it'd be way worse. I'd rather do the empty arena. Give me the empty arena over nothing.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I think that if we got NBA back, I think everybody would watch. I think everybody. I think the casual fan would watch. You know, there'd be storylines, and here's why, dude. Here's why I think the NBA would be bigger, because there's LeBron James on the Lakers, there's Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers. They're gonna meet. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Maybe there's other people. Like this Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant thing could happen. I don't think it will, but it could.
Oh, that they would both be back.
Yeah, like the 76ers healthy versus a Celtics team.
That would be fun.
People are in on that. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like the NBA has the star power and the storylines. They'll figure it out. It will work out.
I always thought an 8-team playoff made more sense for the NBA because the first round is just kind of useless except for owners fucking lining their pockets.
Well, listen, hockey's trying to do 24, right? And the way that it's set up looks great.
But the Stanley Cup playoffs is different to me because I feel that you could put any two teams together in a Stanley Cup playoff game and it would be riveting.
And that's what I mean. If the Bruins are the top seed, right, and they play the 8th seed, the worst seed, let's say, they could still lose. You know, like
that's that's why I love the unpredictability and the tension. That's what makes it the best, combined with the speed and
Yeah, like my pick this year was Colorado, but I also had the the Toronto Maple Leafs because
you're just like star power. You're just obsessed with like these top heavy, talent laden. You just go with the most talent. Traveling Wilburys.
Is that what it is? Oh wow!
Avalanche, the next great dynasty.
The Colorado Avalanche. Who name a fucking guy on their team? I don't.
What's your favorite basketball team? The Dream Team.
No, I actually like the Oakland Athletics. Believe it or not, Moneyball.
Like the guy that you could play 2K, and it's like, I'll be the Memphis Grizzlies. You're like, I'm going to be the 2000 Lakers.
Michael Vick.
I'm going to make a quick trade here. I'm going to put Karl Malone on the Lakers.
Tecmo Bowl. I'm fucking Bo Jackson.
Tennis to fucking Indiana.
No, really though. Like, dude. Okay, so here's the deal. When I bet on these sports, it's like you want to bet on what everyone's gonna want. You want to bet on the fucking the top shit. You know, like look at me. I mean, dude. When I bet
big fight and all that.
Yeah, when I bet UFC, it's like, let's just take all the underdogs and see what happens. You know, what I mean?
You gave me a little bit of money doing that, by the way.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Except I've done the whole card. You do prelims only.
Just prelims only, man.
I've won doing the whole card before.
No, you can, dude.
Yeah,
trust me. The Overeem one.
I mean, one. It was like a few bucks. But.
Yeah, and the judges in UFC is that like someone needs to write a story on that. I'm being serious. I don't know who the judges are, what they do. Like, are they actual UFC? Are they boxing judges? Like, how do you judge a UFC fight?
I think anything determined by a judge is never going to be as mainstream as it wants to be anymore because there's just the inherent sense that it's corrupt.
But like, how and could like you?
People just have differing opinions on a fight, and then there'll be the obvious ones where it's like, what the fuck? How much did that guy get paid? You know, it's like.
Yeah, well, then
that's how you shit like horse racing and boxing and all that. Yeah. It used to be huge, but now it's like now that everybody's up to all the tricks and stuff, it's like,
well, hey,
now we want to be as legitimate as possible. We just want steroids. That's all we want.
I don't care if you steroid the horse. Fucking whoever wins, you'll still lose. You can still lose the race. You know what I mean? Like somebody recently got in trouble. Is
the horse's liver going to be okay? Get it the steroids. Let's go.
like Coach Kilmer, give him the shot. Give him the shot. No, don't put that shot in his leg. I don't want your life. You know,
Varsity Blues.
I love fucking Varsity
Blues. I recognize it because of that last quote. You did a good impression of it.
Don't you put that thing?
The big fat guy's like, "When you go to prom with me?" After they see her at the strip club.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I haven't seen it in like 20 years, but I sort of remember.
Lance, the quarterback, is what's his name there? The Fast and Furious guy.
Who? Oh, Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever happened to the whipped cream bikini?
I thought you were going to say whatever happened to Paul Walker. I was like, well, there was a thing.
It was a race. Actually,
I remember the whipped cream bikini. Allie Larder. I know. Why do I know her name? Don't ask.
I mean, Amy Smart. Whatever happened? She was on Road Trip. I wonder.
She was huge for a little while.
Did she go to Austin or Boston? And dude, one
Boston,
day, dude,
Massachusetts.
fucking weirdest story. I'm sitting in with Tucker and Rich one day, and Tom Green is sitting on the fucking couch
When was that?
at the within the last year.
Okay, I met him. I met him once when he was on at the old station at Mix 104.
Okay, no,
Nice
he
guy.
was sitting on a fucking couch in Dorchester, and we're like, dude, Tom Green's out there, and I just like wanted to like put like a fucking like snake in front of him with like a fucking mouse. You know what I mean? Like I just like
he would have
wanted
played
to.
along. He's a weird guy. He's like always sort of in character, but I think the character is his real personality.
You might like this. MTV had some fucking characters, right? Like
Tom Green is another show I grew up on.
Yep, right. And then like you think about Singled Out.
Jackass.
Dude, I
Even
watched
before that, Tom Green. And,
I watched Jackass 3 the other night at 2 a.m. in my house, and I got fucking nauseous from the shit they were doing.
Oh god, yeah, Jackass 3. They sort of went over the top. Right? They had a couple of shit jokes. And is that the one where they had like it opens with like what looks like a shot of a real bathroom, and then all of a sudden a giant piece of shit falls on?
Yes.
Oh my god,
But
I have
like,
a sick sense of humor.
They had like this beehive thing, and like they
Yeah,
you
I
know
remember the
Napoleon
beehive, yeah.
Dynamite when they play hits that fucking thing. They like did it with a beehive, and they're just getting stung by bees. And I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Like, oh my god, it's gonna get my shirt off. The guy's like, actually, taking your shirt off makes it worse because the oxygen coagulates with the thing. It's like,
It literally made me sick. But like now that I think back, and we're way off. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I don't care. I love this. This is my first time doing a podcast where we just talk about whatever. This is what I want to do.
But like Singled Out, right? Like it was Carmen Electra for a period.
Oh,
of time.
I like Singled Out back in the day. Yeah.
And then it went to Jenny McCarthy.
No, it was the other way around. It was Jenny McCarthy and then Carmen Electra.
And then Carmen. Okay, yeah. And was Chris Hardwick always the host?
I don't know if they. He was. I think it was. Yeah, I think Chris Hardwick stayed with Carmen Electra for that. I was a big TRL guy in exactly 1998.
Oh, okay,
this is the year when NSYNC was #1 for like 40 weeks.
They could never get beat. I remember Offspring put $1 million once in a fucking bin. I don't know if you remember this in TRL, but like they like filled up this bin with like $1 million, and it was like the "Give It to My Baby."
Yeah, Pretty Fly for What?
Yeah, pretty fly.
That was a big hit album for them.
But the thing is that with TRL, right? None of the shit would make it like unless they pushed it. But like it'd be like, all right, we got NSYNC's #1, but it's like here's Britney Spears Lucky, and it's like okay,
yeah, they created this whole war between the NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys to get teenagers pissing on each other or whatever they wanted. It's like.
But every once in a while, Limp Bizkit would find its way in there,
Yeah, the Bum Bum song, the Tom Green song. He campaigned to have it go #1, and it did, and then he retired it.
That's right. But like a lot of like, where did these
Korn was #1 for a little while? I remember those Korn and Limp Bizkit were big. Like I could remember probably anything that was on TRL that particular year. But I don't know why that one year.
Where did a lot of these MTV people go though? Like I actually met Kennedy in person at an event recently.
Kennedy from MTV.
But you know what I'm saying? Like these VJs, like where do they go? Like Kurt Loder, I saw was 75 years old the other day, and I'm like, holy shit! Like,
he's been like a movie critic for a while.
Oh, Kurt Loder, like the new Siskel and Ebert now
for like the New York fucking. I don't know, the New York Fart Smellers magazine or whatever, like some highbrow thing.
Were you a Beavis and Butthead guy?
Did you like? Hey, I'm a Beavis and Butthead guy.
Hey, Beavis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Talk about his butt. You never heard the Beavis and Butthead impression?
I have not, but I one time
there's a couple of Felger calls where he argues with Butthead.
Oh wow! Maybe I haven't, but I have.
I thought you were trying to get me to do the voice.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I have done you can ask Sean Silver. I have done a cornholio live on the air.
Oh really?
Yeah, because we really needed
the whole thing with the head over the shirt over your head.
I can find it. I'll actually find the picture while we're talking.
This thing.
But yeah, it was. We needed TP, right?
Oh yeah.
And
I've watched that shit before I even knew what he was referring to. Huge Beavis and Butthead guy back in the day.
Like when you need TP, you call on Cornholio.
Yeah,
he will find you the TP. Oh my god!
In my opinion, the funniest Beavis and Butthead episode, ironically, is called "No Laughing," and it's when Beavis and Butthead just wouldn't stop laughing because the teacher would say the people's names, and he'd say like butt kiss and like Gaylord and like names like that were okay to say to people in the 90s, and they would like start laughing, and like they couldn't control it, and like they couldn't hold it in, so they said, if you laugh once, you're expelled. And so they had Buzzcut. Remember Buzzcut?
Yeah, Buzzcut. They came in. He's like a
He's
drill
like, we're going
sergeant.
to do sex ed today. And they're like sitting there trying not to laugh. He's like, we're going to be talking about the penis. We're going to be talking about the vagina. Like leaning right. He like leans all the way across the classroom. The animation of Beavis and Butthead was underrated for how fucking hilarious it is. The guy's at the front of the classroom and then leans all the way into their face. But we might have to pull up a clip. I don't know if you'll get pulled off YouTube or whatever this is, but
no, I can't do it on here. But
yeah,
I wish I could.
Oh my god, I love Beavis and Butthead.
What I love about Beavis and Butthead is there's so many spin-offs, man. Like, what in the hell? And like,
what in the hell? Are you balls been hawking in my camper? That was like clearly Hank Hill is like 80% Mr. Anderson, right?
Bobby,
damn. Bobby, head down to the propane store.
And like Daria, right? Daria,
I remember her.
Daria started from MTV as well.
I'm trying to think. There are other good characters, but
were there any other knockoffs from fucking Beavis and Butthead?
I don't think so. There were good characters. The teacher never had a show, and like none of the teachers had a show. The principal. Oh, Beavis and Butthead! Oh, you're expelled! You little bastards!
What was the other one? So actually, I was curious because has South Park, like Family Guy, had spinoffs? Those Cleveland.
Yeah. Well,
my name is Cleveland Brown.
Yeah, Cleveland Child. I was gonna say American Dad, but that was just like the same. That was just a Seth MacFarlane spinoff.
So, dude, random story about American Dad. There's a kid I worked with who I'd look at him sometimes and I'm like, dude, I'd like say to somebody, I'm like, dude, does he look like American Dad? And like people are like, oh my god, yeah, he does. He's a big dude too. He played football at like Colgate or some shit. And so I'm like, hey, dude, did anyone ever tell you look like American Dad? And he just goes, dude, it's funny you say that. He goes, because my uncle is like the creator of American Dad.
What? It was Seth MacFarlane's nephew?
I'm one of them. One of like the writers or something.
Oh, okay, not
but whatever. But like, I'm wondering. I'm like, did they create American Dad like based off your look, or like?
Oh, they might have.
Like,
that's like most like memorable characters are based on people you met in real life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Maybe you can make
even a cartoon character.
I mean, you
like
can
the Simpsons. Like you talk to all the voices and stuff, like all that shit. Like they base it off real people.
I mean, this is what I get all the time, like Akeem.
Oh yeah, Akeem the African. You're dead ringer for Akeem the African.
A one-man gang.
Have you been for Halloween? You have to.
I'm gonna this year. I was
really?
I was Suge Knight this year. I had a big Suge Knight shirt, and I had a death row.
That's pretty good.
A death row chain.
Walking around with a dead body.
Yeah, but listen, people say he's a murderer. He's not. Well, oh yeah, gee, you're wearing a murderer T-shirt. I don't see.
Okay, he didn't. He literally didn't pull the trigger. Okay,
that we know of. He's never been convicted.
He's the one who threw Tony Rocky Horror off the balcony, I think.
That was Vanilla Ice, I believe.
Oh yeah, no, didn't he actually hang someone off?
Yeah, exactly.
I was making a Pulp Fiction reference.
It actually was Vanilla Ice. Anyways, enough of the MTV stuff.
Do the fucking Ninja Turtle song, okay? I will.
Hey, speaking of Ninja Turtles, go Ninja, go Ninja, go! You had some funny stuff I saw one day. You had something about these Ninja Turtles characters.
Oh, right. That was my article. I write for I do freelance write for ScreenRant.com.
Okay.
Plug there. It's just like a movie site. It's a great website. Anything you want to know about movies, TV, what's happening, you can go there. They got everything there. Well-oiled machine.
Who's the best Ninja Turtle? Because there's Raphael. If I remember the song, there was how's it go? Michelangelo's a party dude. Raffaello's cool, but
crude.
Okay. All right.
So kind of an anti.
Donatello does machines. Leonardo leads.
Right? Yeah, Leonardo leads. Donatello does machines.
Yeah, that's a fact check. So I like the Ninja Turtles. I loved the movies growing up. There was April O'Neil. There was Casey Jones, Shredder, Splinter. Bebop and Rocksteady.
I like the movies. The '90s movies stick out to me because they used like animatronics.
Yeah,
And I feel like I haven't seen it in a long time, but I feel like that movie would hold up if I rewatched it. I wouldn't watch it and be like, "Oh, this thing sucks now."
yeah, like they ate a lot of pizza.
Yeah, but that was like the Ninja Turtles movies. The live action ones were fucking dark.
They
Weren't
were.
they?
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like it was an independent movie at the time. It was like the highest grossing independent movie at the time. Like they technically created it off, just like the comic book licensing or whatever. Like it wasn't the whole thing with them being a toy phenomenon. Like it just really started, I think. But
And what are you into the movie Halloween as well?
I'm a big horror movie guy. Yeah.
All right, so I love all the Halloweens. The
All
one
of them?
I don't like that fucking mask one though.
The Halloween 3 the season of the witch or whatever it's called. Yeah, that's not even part of the. I don't even consider that part of the.
That
thing.
one
They tried to do
sucks.
something different.
I'm sorry, that one sucks. And it's like, hey, they watch like these commercials, right? They like watch these commercials, go buy a mask, and then like everyone's supposed to die when they put on the mask. Like, that's kind of like the theme of that movie.
Yeah, or like
It's
possesses
stupid.
them or something. I haven't watched in a long time.
But like, so I like Michael Myers. I'm a big Michael Myers fan. The Julie Lee Curtis, he comes back. The fucking who's the guy who what was his name there? Loomis.
Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, Dr. Loomis. And then like I like the newer ones too.
The Rob Zombie ones, or the one that just came out.
The Rob Zombie ones aren't bad. After
I didn't love the Rob Zombie one because like the first half was all about like Michael Myers didn't kill his family until halfway through the movie, so I was just like, all right,
yeah,
move along here.
Yeah.
He tried to like I see what he was trying to do more like the backstory or whatever.
Wow.
But I like the one that just came out more than any of the other sequels because it was actually like a sequel to the first one, and they had John Carpenter do the music, so it had the same like creepy music from the first one, and all that. The first Halloween's a classic because there's no blood. It's all just about like
dread
and fucking thinking you're gonna die.
The psycho type.
That's the best. The best horror movies are the ones that fill you with dread and make you want to fucking take a warm bath after it's over.
So I liked like The Devil's Rejects. What was
House of a Thousand Corpses is low key a fucking creepy ass movie.
House of a Thousand Corpses was awesome, and I think that was Rob Zombie, right?
Rob Zombie. That was his first movie, I think. But like, I think Rob Zombie's inexperience as a director made that movie scarier because the way he shot with the camera was just like creepy and like odd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like these people creep you out, and then people start dying, and it's like, get me out of here.
Well, like
Sneaky liked that movie. The critics hated it because they didn't want to give credit to a horror movie, made by a metal guy.
I graduated in 2000, so Scream was huge. Scream, like
true. Well, yeah, they had a couple sequels by then.
Yeah, Scream was just like one of the big, and then there was like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then like Jeepers Creepers, and then like weird shit would come out, like The Hills Have Eyes and stuff. But there was never really like good. What came out? Us wasn't bad.
I thought that was okay. I love Get Out. I like Get Out a lot.
Sorry,
but it's not like that's not just a scary movie.
That's the one I liked was Get Out.
Movie that came out a couple years ago called Hereditary.
I haven't seen.
Is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, in my opinion.
Dude, have you ever seen The Exorcist, the prequel one of like Emily Rose? So The Exorcist,
the original Exorcist, is another one that
great.
holds up.
But
terrifying,
dude, they made a prequel of like what that like character like possessed somebody before, but like remember how the priest were like the priest that saved them like had to do this before, like they called him in. It's that guy.
It's about like his first time having to do it.
Dude, creepy. And I think it was called like Emily Rose or something. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, that's not an Exorcist movie. I know what you're talking about.
No. I think no.
You're thinking, wasn't it like Exorcist: The Origin or something like that?
Yeah, it was a prequel of the Exorcist.
No, that movie does exist, but Exorcism of Emily Rose is a different.
Oh yeah,
exorcism movie.
I'm mixing up my exorcisms.
Yeah, Emily Rose is just okay, but Emily Rose pales in comparison to The Exorcist because in The Exorcist, the first like half of the movie is doctors trying to figure out what's wrong with this girl, and they can't figure it out. And you slowly figure out that there's nothing they could do because she's possessed by the devil, and you start to feel horrible for this family. Then the really fucked up shit starts to happen.
You're
the
devil.
crucifix and all that.
Yes.
And like, there's a part like before you realize what's going on, like how scary it's gonna get. She comes down and tells people you're all gonna die, and then pisses herself. Like that's one of the creepiest scenes in movie history.
Yes, that's
Because
creepy.
like you watch that, and you're like, what the fuck? Imagine watching that in 1973.
Yeah, I still freak out. Like it still kind of gets me, and like he just falls out the window or whatever. But yeah, when you said the devil, all I could think of was Bobby Boucher's mother. Like, oh, that's the devil. Oh, no, football, the devil. Football is the devil. Anyways, so I saw Jurassic Park, and I saw a funny meme this week. And again, not being insensitive, but it was like, hey, the last time we opened things up early, it was Jurassic Park, and like, haha, right?
Talk about a movie that holds up, by the way.
What one?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park 1 holds up, I think.
The first one is all I'm talking about. Yeah,
with fucking Newman, he loses the,
It's just unbelievable how good the effects still are. Like you figure, you watch a movie from 25 years ago, nothing's gonna have good effects, but like the dinosaurs.
Well, dude, the fucking cup moving with like the boom boom boom. That's still
classic.
Like you could
T-Rex with the eye in the window. Yeah,
you could do that now, and it would still fucking get over. I watched, was it 3 the other day where the boy gets lost? Yeah, and the mother and father try to find him.
I think 3 is one of the ones that sucks.
Yeah, but
from what I remember.
But then he's like, "Hey, it's the dinosaur guy," and the baby picks up and it's like and gives it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. 2, I don't remember though.
That's the Lost World.
No. That's
Dr. Malcolm's the main character.
There you go, that guy.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, the first Jurassic Park is a classic, though.
Yeah, and then Jurassic World with Chris Pratt is.
I like the first one, but it's doesn't have the magic of the first. That happens all the time, or you get to the 4th or 5th installment, it's like, the first one's, still clearly the best.
What
a lot of things.
If you were gonna go to the drive-in at Kowloon to watch a movie, what movie would you want to watch?
Before I tell you what, because I got to think about, are they actually doing that? Is that happening?
If they allow people, yeah. So if outside, so they had a tiki bar last year, which is great. Like you could like hang out and like they had like a music feel, like it was like you were drinking your patio drinking, right?
That's on my calendar if they open it up.
I love patio drinking. That is like a fucking I'm
not a huge like drinker, like go out to the bar every weekend guy, but like I'll do it. Yeah, if I'm with people I like and we have good conversations.
But day drinking outside in like nice weather is like
pretty good.
Better. Like and so like I'll drink a cold sangria just to like do it because it's like, all right, let's get drunk. You know what I mean? Like let's drink. I mean, the other day it was like I saw a bunch of White Claws in my fridge, and it was like 70 degrees outside, and I was doing something on the porch, and I'm like, I might just drink a White Claw and fucking back right now because it's just like a day drinking. It's like it's just like something you want to do.
I'll tell you where day drinking outside does not work. I've been to the Bonnaroo Music Festival 3 times.
You went to Bonnaroo?
Been there 3 times, yeah.
Holy shit!
And
is it like what's it called? What the fuck is the main event? Wow, Woodstock.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what Woodstock was like, but it's like a major festival. Yeah, people just walking around, enjoying all kinds of live music, and you stay there the whole weekend. You camp and everything. But here's the thing: it's in the middle of Tennessee in mid-June on a farm where there's no shade. So you go to sleep and you're all comfortable, but then a second goes by that all of a sudden it's 8 a.m. and you feel like you're inside an oven being cooked alive, and you have to get out of your tent like the second the sun comes up. And then you start drinking and you think you're having a good time, but then you realize you're not getting drunk at all because you're just drinking, and then the sweat's immediately coming out of you. And like you could swallow my back sweat and get drunk off of it. That's how fucking quickly we were sweating.
Gross.
And that's a time where like I feel like you strike me as someone who would have a great time at a festival after the sun goes down. Like during the day, I feel
I'm gonna sleep.
Do you not do well with heat and humidity? I don't know how you're.
All right. So here's the deal. Like if I go to Vegas, right? I'm a beach. Believe it or not, I'm a beach guy. Okay. I love the beach, but I love the ocean too. So like if I was out in the heat and there was no water nearby, out. It is not happening. I don't like
desert,
sweat.
Basically.
I don't like sweat. It's just like, I just
sticky, sweaty weather is the worst.
I'll sweat if I can get wet.
Yeah.
You know, like that's, but yeah, like if I go to Vegas, I'll drink all fucking night. I'll drink till 6 a.m, and then the pool opens at 7, and I'm out at the fucking pool, you know, getting sun. I tan well, so it's like I don't get burned, and you know, that's me. And then I'll be in the water pool. I go down to the cave. I live North Shore. I live 10 minutes away from the fucking ocean, so like I can like pretty much go whenever the hell I want. But yeah, it has to be. I'll go out all day. I'll day drink all day. But you're right, dude. It's hard to day drink when it's hot. I went to a Metallica Summer Sanitarium concert once at Gillette. It was like 95 degrees.
Oh, nice.
And I would drink.
That might have been the same year I went to Bonnaroo. I don't know, because there was like a huge heat wave across the country one year.
Dude, I was drinking a beer and then drinking fucking water. I was drinking beer, and then I was like in the front row. They were hosing us down.
Yeah,
They're fucking just, here's a hose. I'm like, fucking yes, hose me.
yeah.
Like,
No, at Bonnaroo, you need the Camelback. You know those things, the little like the backpack with the water. You need that. Like you can't just walk around with a bottle of water. You'll finish it in a minute, and then you like immediately need to drink water again. But once the sun goes down, oh boy, you can really let loose. You know.
Yep.
Seen some interesting shit going down at that place.
I didn't know that you were a Bonnaroo guy. Anyways, let's do a lightning round.
Oh boy, I'm not good at thinking of an answer to a question right away. You know,
What'd you think?
I hate word association.
What'd you think of Travis Kelce's comment?
It's stupid. No, literally not one person hates him because he was a white tight end wearing 87. We hate you because you act like a douche, and I don't want to like disparage anyone personally because I don't know Travis Kelce personally, but I don't know. He just comes off really annoying. You're not as good as Gronk. You can't block. You're a glorified H-back. Nobody hates you for any of the reasons you stated. You are incorrect. That's my take on Travis Kelce.
Okay, why is Cam Newton still the favorite to land with the Patriots?
Because I don't know. People just like to put takes out there. They hear a little detail like, "Oh, I heard they're sniffing around on Cam Newton." And it's like, I don't doubt that Bill Belichick makes calls to people, but like, he's going to do it on his terms. He's not going to bring in Cam Newton for fucking $10 million or whatever the hell he would cost.
Cam Newton's only coming here if Stidham gets hurt.
Right. Yeah, like I don't rule anything out with Bill Belichick, but it's like, yeah, I mean that like I started like being more of a believer in betting odds once Tom Brady went to the Bucs.
Yeah,
because remember the reports came out. It's like, oh, now he's the favorite to land in Tampa, and then all of a sudden the reports start coming out. It's like, wow. So the Vegas people knew as much as anybody.
Did you read this?
It's weird though with Cam Newton, and if he came here, oh my god, haven't been a fan of his really for a while either.
Yeah, but dude, he's a polarizing figure. He's good.
It'll be good for ratings and good for people talking shit about all that.
I just think though, overall,
and I think Bill would get the most out of him. I think he'd play well.
Absolutely, but I just think
because I'm not one of these guys like, hey, don't bring him in, he sucks. Like I'm on a Bill we trust guy more than anything.
I think though he's the difference of like a 9-7, 10-6 to 12-4. I think he's worth 2 games.
I think that's if you assume that Stidham's just going to be a mediocre
I'll tell you this,
manager type guy. You know,
he got that Liz Frank injury in his foot. Like some guys who never got that fixed, like went on to just fail. He got it fixed, so like, hasn't been the most accurate passer, but you might not need that in the AFC East.
Sorry, Maz just texted me.
Oh, he did. What did he say?
I write 3 articles last week. Yes, Tony. All right, I'll help you in a second. I'm busy.
Yeah. Hey, Tony. He's actually fucking doing work. Anyways, did you read this? This fucking.
So much for the lightning round. Sorry to drag out these answers for you.
No, it's fine. I have I'm not doing anything. Are you?
Not doing shit.
Like I'm not doing anything.
I've been playing video games. I'm putting a new personal website together, by the way. Like it's gonna feature some sports. Dude, I guess that's might be sort of breaking news because I haven't really talked about it publicly, but
do you know how to do that?
MattDolloff.com is coming back, folks.
I have JoeyMurr.com.
Real humdings on that website.
I have JoeyMurr.com and
oh really?
It doesn't exist. Well, it exists, but
you're sitting on the domain.
I'm the no. I used to have like the sportsblast.com and what's the line.net and like all these like websites, and like now I want to just like merge them, but I have to do it myself and I don't know how to do it. So maybe I'll call you and you can.
I know how to set up a website. I've done it a bunch of times. The key is stay consistent with putting content together and not procrastinating and actually doing shit. So like there's been a bunch of websites that I've started that failed, and which goes back to our conversation about failing over and over again to be successful. So I mean, I'm hoping this next website I put out there is going to be successful. There's going to be original content, stuff that really wouldn't make sense if I put it on the Sports Hub or anywhere else, and like stuff that I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude,
I'm basically going to write about whatever I want.
I want
to write about stuff that I'm interested in because I feel like I would translate and people would be more interested in something if the writer is passionate about it.
I want to
I want to write about things I'm passionate about. So,
dude, when Halloween comes, I want you to fucking write about Halloween.
Okay? I probably will. I'm a big horror movie guy. It's probably going to put something out there.
People like horror movies.
And I don't care about being like a journalist. Like I said, like I just want to write stories that people are entertained by. Maybe I'll try to incorporate real life and facts and all that stuff. But it's like I just want you to enjoy yourself.
Hey, what
like a Chuck Klosterman or something like that? You know what I mean? Like he's not exactly a journalist, but he's a writer that people enjoy.
Okay, what grade would you give the Patriots off season this year?
Oh, I saw you sent Curran gave him a big fat F, huh? So that's a tricky one because if they really wanted Tom Brady back and tried to get him back and failed, then it's not a good offseason. But was it Bill's plan all along to move on?
I respect Tom. Great writer, right? Great writer. Because we just admitted it. We only fucking, I'm the guy who attacks the story, and then you're the guy who writes your own story.
Yeah.
They take their medicine with $23.5 million in dead cap money, is what he writes. But if he comes back, they still eat dead cap money. Just want to throw that out there.
They would have had to. Well, it would have been. They could have worked it out where he only counted for half the dead money. I guess
for $7 million or something.
6.75 or something.
No matter what, they still had to eat that money. Steven Gostkowski's out. Michael Bennett, Antonio Brown, all those guys sucked last year. They franchised Joe Thuney, which is still up in the air. They drafted a kicker in the 5th round. Nobody else would have likely drafted. They saw two of the
that one. It's like it's a 5th round pick. Like he wants the guy, just take him. That's my philosophy.
You kicked at Rhode Island, so I think he liked them.
I feel that way about the 2nd round picks he's made, the ones that sucked. It's like that's who he wanted. Obviously, he was wrong about Tavon Wilson and guys like that, but it's like, if you really want a guy, just reach for him. Like, who cares about who cares about getting the most value? Like, you could have had this guy 62 picks later. It's like, what do you know? How do you know?
Oh,
that's what I love the draft analysis, but people during this, you don't fucking know.
Some drafts, I am like, oh man, that guy was on the board. And
Bill Burr has a bit about it. I fucking die laughing every time.
You have a comedy sense.
I don't pro the defensive line.
Before we leave today, I want to ask you about The Sopranos and comedy. So bookmark those.
Sure.
But the story goes on to say they lost Jamie Collins and Kyle Van Noy, Philip Dorsett out, Duron Harmon traded, Danny Shelton out. Is he out?
Danny Shelton signed with the Lions, I believe.
Okay, he's out. Ted Karras, who couldn't snap, he fucking drove me nuts.
Great guy.
You snap fucking football. Snap it.
Nothing but good things to say about Ted Karras.
Snap it right, will you? Snap it. Oh, the way he snapped it, he always fucked it up.
Big Office fan, Ted Karras.
Nate Ebner out. Anyways,
he would snap it, and I would do my taxes, then come back, do a little exercise.
You gotta fire the
finally the ball would be in Tom Brady's hands.
You know what you do? Listen, you have one job when you're a center. Okay, one job when you're a center. You fucking get a good snap to the quarterback. That's it. Because you're gonna have a guard help you. A guard is gonna help you.
Why couldn't Joe Cardona do it if they needed him to? It's an emergency.
He's not in the no.
Yeah, I probably couldn't block, but
he can't block. And then they wouldn't be able to kick at all because nobody
he just fires it into his dick.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, questionable groin.
Sports hernia, which is that wouldn't be the first time.
Yes, he had a ruptured testicle.
Wear
a cup.
Bo Allen in, Adrian Phillips in.
I like those signings.
Dan Vitale.
They needed a run stopper, and I know that I guess Danny Shelton for Bo Allen sort of a wash. Adrian Phillips is a good signing. He plays safety. He's not just a special teams guy.
Yeah, but he's a free safety. He's like he's a McCourty.
Like a box safety type.
Well,
right?
No. I think he's more of like a free. I think they want.
But he's not like a deep field guy. He can tackle. I think
he's
one of those guys.
So I think he can be. Yeah, he's got to play special teams too. He's very good at that.
Oh, their special teams is going to be even better, I think. They got that Cody Davis guy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Phillips. They still have Bolden. Who the fuck else? They signed someone else.
That stupid Bird guy.
The linebacker they drafted is going to be a good special. What's his name? Cash, whatever. However you pronounce his name.
Maliala or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Malua. Malua.
Malua.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry.
You know where
he's going to be a special. I guarantee. I'm telling you, he's the next Nate Ebner. That's what that guy's.
You know where he's from? From the streets of Compton.
From Compton, and my name is Cash.
I just wanted to be. I wanted to drop like a Dr. Dre line there because I'm from the streets of Compton.
Compton.
Whatever. They gave him an F.
No, I know all the words. I forgot about Dre. I'm not going to do it right now, but I do it if you wanted.
I know, dude. I know every lyric on America's Most Wanted, on the Chronic 2 double disc. I know Easy Does It by Easy E. I know, yes, the Predator album from Ice. Yes, I know I know them all.
I could do that maybe with Run the Jewels.
Maybe Beatle karaoke next year. I'll be like, y'all know me, still same old G, but I've been low key.
Oh, we'd crush it.
You can do the Eminem part.
Guaranteed crush it.
Anyways, they gave him an F, dude.
I don't know about F. F to me is like, see, I want to give Karn benefit of the doubt here that he gave him an F because he's not sure if Bill's just saying this is a bridge year and we're not really going to try to win the Super Bowl. We're building for next year, which is sort of like giving someone an F for not showing up to class. Like I think that might be sort of his logic, where it's like they're like that's like an incomplete effort almost. I think that might have been his logic by giving them an F. I don't know. If you lose Tom Brady, then like what's the point of even just like you give him an F for that? Like what's the point of even discussing anything else? Like it almost has to be independent of Tom Brady. It's sort of like everything's independent of Tom Brady now. Like you can't talk about the best quarterbacks or whatever, and you just basically have to just nudge Tom Brady aside and talk about everybody else. So it's like
I think they're going to win.
I'm sort of looking at how they handled everything else. You know what I mean? The Brady thing in and of itself is obviously didn't end perfectly. So
they're going to win 10 games and get right back in the race.
They're gonna destroy the Dolphins in week 1, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh fuck, this fucking Belichick still got these guys playing well." Shit, because Bill Belichick, like the team is extremely well coached. Like I feel like people don't realize this. There's people out there, like not in New England, but like in the sporting universe in general, they think it's fucking black magic.
Yeah, like week 1 against the Dolphins. It's either going to be Fitzpatrick or Tua Tagovailoa, okay?
It's like you watch these teams do all this dumb shit and not like all this fundamentally unsound things. It's like, thank God we have Bill Belichick so they don't do all this dumb shit.
But like Stephon Gilmore is going to be on that side of the field, and then there's like J.C. Jackson and like Jonathan Jones and Patrick Chung and Devin McCourty and Adrian Griffin. And it was like, they're like, oh shit, there's like Dante Hightower is still there, and like, oh shit. And then like this Bo Allen, dude, telling you, fucking Bo knows, okay? He is going to be good.
I like the Bo Allen side. They needed a guy who could stop the run up the middle. And I mean, I know, like I said, he had a down year, but I think he's a better fit for that.
The game against the Super Bowl when he was with the Eagles, he fucking was in Brady's face all day, and he helped that dude get that strip sack that they. That's
true. Yeah.
All right. So there's great calls in history. There's Havlicek stole the ball. There's the Giants win the pennant. There's Joe Carter's walk-off a home run. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. Where does on 98.5 The Sports Hub rank of all-time calls?
It's in the pantheon. It's in the pantheon somewhere. I mean, I think an easy choice for number 1 all-time is Do You Believe in Miracles? I think that's like sort of the gold standard, because that's like the best possible combination of the moment. Like the moment is so unbelievable, and like Al Michaels came up with that line in that moment. That's one of the best moments in sports history, regardless of what fucking country you're from. Like once you learn the whole, I guess if you're Russian, you don't like it, but I mean, it's fucking commies. But yeah, I think your call was great because of the emotion. That's what makes a great call, is that like you mix the emotion with the moment, and like you were just so so shell shocked that fucking West Virginia State or whatever the hell it was losing by 2 because the guy heaved it.
It was Indiana. It was Victor Oladipo. And if I could set it up quickly, I'm doing an interview on a weekend, and I get an email that Christian Arcan's going to be starting at our station, and I'm like, oh, I know Christian. So I'm like, yeah, why don't we get a guest on? You know, the playoffs are happening, and it's LeBron James, who always like played half court offense, so like the games would be low scoring, and like the total was like 214.5 or something.
So you're like, oh, this is a stone cold.
And I'm like, and like the interview started, and I'm like, all right, like let's just let the interview go, and I'm just gonna watch, you know, like okay. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, they're fouling them, and they're getting these extra free throws, and I'm like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah, I guess it's really gonna come down to one fucking shot here.
So like they take a shot, it like ends. It's like 4, 3, 2.
And you're in the middle of taking people to the commercial break. Is the best part, though.
Jump shot Oladipo in. So it was 214. So it was 212 was the total at the time.
Oh man! So yeah, he literally lost by 1 point.
So a 2-point layup, and I win, right?
Yeah, like if it bounced and then the guy tipped it in, you would be fine.
Like, it's just like, what? And I'm like, all right, thank you to Dr. Football. Right here on 98.5 The Sports. No! And I was like, did that count? And they're like, yep.
Is there is there a synced video somewhere?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter handle. So,
I thought I might have been dreaming when I saw that. I gotta look that up.
Just so you know, that's not the first time that's happened.
Really? On the air?
So Jeremy Conley has like a list of like shit that I've done with bets like on the air, because I've worked a lot of nights, like when Jones moves around or is out or whatever. But there was a great one where Anthony Brown was the quarterback at BC, and they're playing Northern Illinois in a MAC game on a Wednesday night, 8:00.
These fucking college sports things.
Right?
I can't.
And
Too many games, fuck them.
I'm doing the show.
Let me know who's going in the NFL.
I got BC, and all of a sudden I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, yes, and a touchdown by the young freshman Anthony Brown. Take a bow, I go. Right, I just out of nowhere, and like you just
like set it stream of conscious without even thinking.
Well, that's how Fred Toucher became to know me. He goes, "Who's the kid on the weekend who's just watching games that he's betting on?"
Right.
And it's me, because like again, I used to come.
We're not going to talk about how much of a degenerate this guy is.
I used to come in like prepping for like shows and shit, like, oh, you know, we're going to talk about the Red Sox today, and is Stephen Wright, could he be a number 1 starter? You know, whatever. Yeah. And like, it just didn't work. It didn't work. It wouldn't work.
What would have happened if the shot didn't? If like you won the bet, like would you have been equally as like? Would you have had an orgasm?
I would have been like,
oh yeah.
I would have been like, oh,
that was good.
Time to unbuckle the pants, everybody.
Jesus. And now the dulcet tones of Barry White.
And I'd be like, actually, what are we betting next? It's probably what are we gonna put? We're gonna roll that over on next. That's probably what would have happened.
It's like, all right, so there's a Korean soccer league, and they're playing these guys from Germany. They're right off the street, but they got some talent.
Last week,
like, how do you know about this shit, Liv Schatz?
He hits me up last week. He goes, Joe, I got a sharp play. You got to take Jotko in UFC, and I'm like, okay, Jotko, okay, yep. Oh, he's a favorite in the prelims, and he's like, yeah, I got a sharp play.
Listen, I talked to 17 lawyers in Orange County, and they told me that the coach is running a triangle offense, and that's going to help them on the other end. It's like, what,
dude?
Where do you get this shit,
Matt? You got to do a bit. You got to do a bit where it's like me, like it's like me just like hosting, like, hey everybody, here's the Over Under show, and we got this coming up, and like, yeah, Joe, I talked to my friend who's a lawyer friend who's got a sister who's in the you know, like, and it's
listen, I got sources in all 4 major pro sports leagues.
If you made a 30,
listen to that Schefter guy.
If you made a 30 or a 60, I would play that bit every fucking weekend. Like, it'd be like before the last break. It's like, hey man, I got something on the Bundesliga. You know,
I was thinking of like coming up with like like characters, like not necessarily like I'm doing a Felger or I'm doing a Joe Murray, but it's like a composite, just like an outrageous character. That might be part of the whole thing. Like you'll see. It's in the very early stages of what I'm gonna hopefully try to do and do well.
I hope so.
That's a good idea. Like I was thinking of doing something for like sports betting and like
But there's like so many people,
composite like parody of an outrageous sports radio gambling guy.
Like at night, right? They use DJ Alexi is kind of like a big thing at night with Arcan. So like maybe like you could like like maybe like be like DJ Alexi's like person who puts makes the clothes for him, or like just like something weird.
I'm gonna put 5,000 on the Patriots, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hedge it by putting 15,000 on the Dolphins. This is what you're gonna do. Look at the percentages, look at the weather.
Yeah, and then if the live line is out, dude, you gotta go and drop it all on the underdog, and then you will still win some dollars. Forget about it. Speaking of forget about it, all right, I'm a huge Sopranos fan.
Me too.
I watched it recently, head to toe.
I gotta rewatch. I gotta do that soon.
Some things stand out to me, like that make me think. There's the famous scene with Bobby on the boat. It all just goes black.
Right. I gotta rewatch that last.
Okay, there was connects. Like AJ was all fucked up, but he says like the funniest thing. He's like, "Yeah, I want to go into the service, and maybe I could like fly airplanes for Trump or something." And I'm just like dying laughing.
Oh, he says Trump.
Yeah, like I'm fucking dying laughing.
Right. Now the Apprentice was on at that time, so it's like he was,
But there's like little like things that happen. Like obviously, like they had like the terrorists. And like shit would happen, and like the FBI is like, hey, if you can help me with the terrorists, like I'll help you with like this.
Right, they help each other.
Yeah, and then like they find out that like dude got whacked, and he's like, we're gonna win this one. The FBI guy's like all pumped up,
Yeah, and then the other guys look at him like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, but like it's just like
because he has no idea that like inside he's celebrating like that Tony and him are working things out.
Yeah,
but the other guy's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and then like Paulie just had it bad at the end, man. Like between his mom or his non-mom and his nun, and then the fucking
that was weird.
The cat that kept fucking looking at him, and like everybody that ever had that job always got whacked, and prostate and the fucking the Saint fucking what was the like a Saint Anthony's feast or whatever.
Like,
gets the guy's fucking gold head. Like there was always something with Paulie, right? There was just always fucking something with him. Whatever. Well, today I there's a Sopranos page that I follow on Twitter. I'll find it because I just took a picture of it because I wanted to think about it.
That goes all the way back to me. Paulie went to that like psychic thing.
Yeah, I remember in the dead guy. Yo, we fucking whacked him in 1972 with your old man.
Yeah, Mikey Paul Beastie says, how's the sunburn or whatever, or how's the poison ivy?
Yeah, but there's a Sopranos club at the Sopranos Club. And today they pose a question. So what happened to Carmela? Well, I still don't know what happened at the end. I don't know what happened at the end. My assumption is it's a point of view, and it's in Tony's point of view. He sees everyone walking through the door. He hears the bell. It's his point of view. And then all of a sudden we see black. So I assume he got whacked. I assume. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. I also feel like
David Chase let it slip or something.
Yeah, but he fucking it was a poor.
Was it misinterpreted? Yeah, the media misinterpreted. That's a fucking shocker.
So the other thing was, did we get whacked? Like
that was I like that theory. I've heard that theory that the audience is the one that got whacked.
So what did you?
I think he just wanted to throw as many little details in there as he could and just have us think about it. And like here we are, fucking 13 years later, still talking about it. I think that's the thing. That's my take on the Sopranos finale. Is that it's way better than the finales of other shows that like wrapped everything else perfectly. Like Breaking Bad is the example I go to. Breaking Bad, loved Breaking Bad. Great show.
I love Better Call Saul.
I like Better Call Saul. I need to catch up on that. I'm only like a 2 or 3 seasons.
Here's my thing.
But like the point is,
okay, go ahead.
The Breaking Bad ending is like perfect. Like everything wrapped up nice and neatly. Walter, the whole thing with the lab and the cops showing up, Pickman escapes. Everything's great. Who's still talking about the Breaking Bad finale? Nothing nothing that's interesting enough to keep talking about. You
Can
know
we
what I
go?
mean?
Can we go
The
flip
show
side on that?
itself, the journey of that show is amazing.
Yep.
But everybody's still talking about the Sopranos finale.
Flip side of that though.
So like it's so symbolic and like vague, and there's different ways to interpret it, and there's nobody really knows what happened. I think that's what makes a good finale, and keep people talking about it forever.
Good point, right?
Way more compelling to me than a lot of other finales.
It's been almost 20 years and we're still fucking talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Game of Thrones was my favorite show. It was my favorite show.
Until like about after like 4 seasons, you're like, okay,
6 seasons.
we could just call it right here. It would be fine.
I don't know if you did you watch?
Yep.
Okay. The final season pissed me the fuck off
Oh yeah.
because of the investment, the time you had to wait. It pissed me off. And here's my thing: who watches anymore? Like, who even talks about Game of Thrones anymore?
It ended so badly, nobody cares about it anymore.
It's like we can't even fucking mention it, dude.
It's because now you go back and watch the first episodes, and it's like you know where it's leading to. So it's like, I'll rewatch the first 4 seasons maybe at some point. But like, what happened, Joe, with that is that they started outpacing George R.R. Martin, who wrote the books.
Yeah.
What made Game of Thrones so incredible in the early seasons is that they drew the dialogue and the characters from these amazing books that had been out for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, so once they no longer had the books with the great dialogue and all that stuff, it's in the hands of these fucking TV assholes who like don't know what they're doing compared to George R.R. Martin. And now all of a sudden season 5 is a piece of shit with those like triplet girls or whatever. And they go to, I forget what season that is. The season after the mountain kills the guy, that was my favorite season because I loved that character, the guy that gets killed by the mountain.
Yeah.
I forget his real name. But like that season sucks. And like that's when it started to like fall behind the books. And now it's like George R.R. Martin gives them the general plot, and now they're coming up with the dialogue. And it's these fucking cheeseball idiots who wrote for probably like Entourage and Ballers and shit like that. And now it's like, now the show sucks. But I mean, like the season where they blew up the whole thing where Cersei blew everyone up at the end, that was a great season.
Yeah, with the fire.
But then the 2 seasons after that were terrible. And
Yeah,
what happened is they had the whole storyline, but they rushed it together. Whereas if they were able to drag it out for a few more seasons or wait for the books to come out, it would have been way, way better.
What I liked about Game of Thrones was like they killed the father on Father's Day, right? Like on the actual Father's Day, Tyrion.
Yeah.
Like, the red wedding was fucking great. Like, I still can't believe they burned the daughter. Like, it's still to me to this day. I'm
That
like,
was fucked up.
Like, holy shit.
I
But
was like, okay, they didn't show it.
and like
oh my god, children dying, burning alive.
The children of the forest is still weird to me. Like, I don't get it. The Hodor angle, like, all I mean is like
I was okay with that. The people didn't like that shit.
Yeah, I was fine with it too. Okay with it. But my whole thing is this: like, I went down a rabbit hole the other day. I wanted to learn about fucking Game of Thrones again. Like, and like, it brought up 2 things, and that's why I'm bringing up this Carmella thing. If you could watch a spinoff, what would it be? Would it be Jon Snow at the Wildlings? Would it be Arya going to fucking, past the Westeros? Would you want to know what fucking Drogon did with with Daenerys' body and where he went? Like, what spinoff would you want to see next? And what's the point of the fucking Night's Watch anymore?
No, yeah, I mean, I'm an Arya Stark guy. I would watch an Arya.
So it's Arya, right? Yeah.
And even if it's just like this cheesy show where she just kicks ass and like takes people's faces every week, that would be fun to watch.
Awesome.
I think.
It'd fucking be great.
Yeah,
I'd watch that every week.
Aren't they coming up with? Aren't they making a prequel?
I
think they're making a prequel about Robert Baratheon and all that stuff.
Ooh, I like that.
That happened before like the first season.
I'm in on that.
And it's based on a book by George R.R. Martin, so it's actually going to be good. See, but this is what's going to happen. George R.R. Martin's finally going to come out with that last book, and people are going to read it and be like, "Oh, now I get why that happened. Okay, he did a way better job telling the story." And it's going to be like, "Why did we let these pricks at HBO fucking take a piss on our show?"
Real quick,
burn the show down and take a piss on the ashes.
we got a couple of games coming up in a minute here, but so what happens to Carmella is what it says on the site. She retires, sells the mansion, and moves in with Rosalie. She gets whacked because she knew too much, and it was probably from Polly. She disappears, possibly to Naples on a Furio hunt. She went pro without children. She takes the veil, and she like takes over full time, like as the boss.
No,
Whoa.
she would get whacked.
Remember they had to give her the money and they
not
fucking
against
hated it.
women.
Remember they gave her the money, like her and no, it was Paulie and who was it? Paulie.
Well, I'm saying the New York people would have whacked her. They don't care about.
No, but what I'm saying is, remember they had to like pay her when Tony was in the coma.
I think yeah, they had to go up into like the secret compartment.
They give her the thing, and they're in the hotel, and they just put their heads down, and she like notices that like. You know.
They're pulling down like AK-47. She's like, oh my god!
And she's like, you got to watch out for that veto. You know,
she absolutely would have got whacked. Remember that loudmouth Lorraine Caluzzo? She got it.
Oh yeah, she got it.
The only other thing I think she would have done is move in with Rosalie. They were BFFs.
Yeah, they were.
She ran right over there when Jackie Jr. got whacked.
Poor Rosalie, man. She fucking got it. She took the brunt of everything.
That's the saddest. That's the saddest scene in Sopranos is Jackie Jr.'s funeral. With her just breaking down, and it's like, holy shit, this lady's entire life got taken away from her.
Everything, even fucking Ralphie.
Yeah, but the parallel was awesome with Tony just looking at AJ, just giving AJ this look like, "You sure you want to fucking Sure, I get my fucking business?" She's telling him.
Hey, what'd you think of the Jordan documentary? I
had to binge it because I knew you probably wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Well, all right, so I
skip a couple episodes. I'm going to go back and rewatch it.
Watch 7 and 8. Do it because it brings you back to the 95 playoffs against the Magic when he like goes from 45 to 23, and it just shows he wasn't right, you know. But the Jordan documentary, I thought it was good. The soundtrack was outstanding. But
I like the soundtrack, yeah.
Ending it with that fucking Soprano song pissed me off. Not the Sopranos, the Pearl Jam song pissed me the fuck off. My takeaways though. I was a huge wrestling fan in the NWO, right? The highest rated NBA finals ever was the 97 or 8. I forget which one.
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis Rodman didn't show up to practice to fucking record on Monday Night Nitro. How the fuck did Eric Bischoff get Dennis Rodman in the height of the NBA finals? Think about it. 83 weeks, like they were ahead of WWE.
Yeah.
But they got Dennis Rodman. And then they got Karl Malone.
Jay Leno.
That's right. They got Jay Leno, too. But, like, it's outstanding to me. And then, like, you know, the whole Carmen Electra thing. They show Leo DiCaprio walking up to Jordan, like, hey, man, yeah. And, like, the movie, fucking, what movie was that? Romeo and Juliet came out at the time. And, like, Jordan, makes the fucking, he makes the fucking joke out of him. Do you think they could have got 7 championships?
Probably. Yeah, if Jordan kept playing, they might have won, 2 or 3 more. If Jordan kept playing.
How do you know though? Pippen did.
There's no way to know. You know.
Pippen won. Kerr, all those guys are free agents. Fucking Phil. But I'll tell you this:
there's a chance he could have dragged them to the playoffs, and they just didn't have the horses around him. Sort of like those Kobe teams between Kobe's Shaq championships and then the later ones.
Yep.
Where it was Kobe and a bunch of stiffs, and you just
Yeah, maybe. But if Twitter was out back then, Scottie Pippen would have been the biggest fucking you pussy, right? I mean, seriously, the guy his back couldn't have played, he couldn't do the back thing. He didn't want to take a final shot for fucking Kukoc, who hit the shot, by the way.
Right.
I
think it would have been leave Scottie Pippen alone. That's so that these fucking pussies on social media these days. Leave him alone. His back's hurt, or whatever the hell's wrong with him.
But come on, nowadays, dude, we bust everyone's balls when they can't play. Carson Wentz gets taken out of a fucking playoff game, and it's like
Tim McCone, you do. I'm saying people on Twitter are like,
Tim McCone's got to go in and play. You know what I mean? It's crazy. We shit on those guys. What
I thought about was Karl Malone. Karl Malone to me is a perfect example of a guy who's so overrated because he had all the talent in the world, but he never won shit, didn't play defense, and Michael Jordan ate his lunch.
He's like the 3rd time leading scorer in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, he's fucking overrated as shit. He never won anything.
He's overrated, dude.
Yeah, he's overrated. He's not one of you put him in the top, whatever. But he's not one of these guys where you put him in the same class as Jordan and Bird.
I think he's one of the top 5 power forwards of all time.
I'm saying he's one of these guys where I would have made fun of him and shit on him for never winning. He would have been like my Peyton Manning.
What about Charles Barkley?
But then you would have had these people on Twitter like, well, you look at his efficiency percentage from 12.2 feet away from the basket, and he's actually the number 1 player of all time. Shut up!
What about Patrick Ewing?
I never won anything. I want guys to win.
Dude, there's a laundry list of guys you could say that about.
And I'm not going to be an asshole if you don't win the championship, but I'm just saying I'm not going to give you credit for being like an all-time great unless you win some hardware. You know what I mean?
But what'd you think? Did you like the documentary? What you saw?
I liked it. I'm one of these guys who was a little too young to really appreciate Jordan as a kid. And from like 95 to 98, I was all about wrestling. So I wasn't really into like sports as much during that time. The one thing I truly, really remember watching is like the last finals, like the 97 or the 98 finals with him. And I understood how good Jordan is. I can't tell if you're frozen or if you're just staring at your phone.
No, my phone.
Okay. You literally look frozen. He's just sitting there.
I am just sitting here.
I literally, but no, like I liked it because there a lot of that shit I didn't know about and didn't see at the time. So I enjoyed like watching and learning about it. But I could tell from the reactions of people who did experience Jordan that they didn't really get much new out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Steve Kerr stuff. The stuff with Reggie Miller, I loved.
Reggie Miller, because
those guys were both clutch and loved to compete, and that's what I fucking love.
Kerr ended up going to the Spurs and was a fucking star with them. Would hit big shot. Do you have a fucking cat?
Oh yeah, my cat's right next to the couch right now. Want me to grab her and show you?
No, yeah, no. I thought.
I just noticed just when you said that, I saw her ears poking into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cat here. She might.
So here's my deal. Cats fuck with me because I fidget too much. I'm like a fidgeter, and cats like to fuck with me. You know. The other thing with about a cat though is they don't need me. Like, you know what I mean? They can do whatever they want. Like that cat's fucking with you because you haven't given it attention in the last hour or so.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the other thing that's cool is you have a cool little picture in the background.
I have a couple cool little pictures, yeah.
Well, I see one.
My right shoulder is Bobby Orr.
Yeah, and you got the Goodfellas one.
And then, one dog goes one way, one dog goes the other way. You know? It kind of looks like someone we know.
Yeah, in the back seat, in the truck. All right, we call this Murray's Musings. We don't need the music.
Oh, boy.
You know? Got a random take. Murray's got
the fucking big pun or whatever it is.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts of stuff in the world.
Who is that, by the way? Is that esoteric, that guy?
That's Mark Feldman.
Oh, really? I thought it was that esoteric guy doing the thing.
No, man. Mark Feldman, part of the.
I was like, it's a local rapper.
Have you
hip hop sensation?
Hip hop Mark.
I don't think I ever met Mark, but I know he's been around.
Yeah. Dude, he used to be at the Sports Hub, and now he's with the Get Up crew, and he's very good. Actually, very, very, very talented. What do you think of the bumper bars? Have you seen these? They're trying to keep people separated by 6 feet.
This goes back to putting mannequins in bars. It's like we're so fucking stupid, and we can't just stay home from the bar for one night that we have to put these inflatable rafts or whatever the hell they're putting around them just to be able to socially distance. You can't just socially distance like the manual way.
Yeah, but like I would drink.
I want to go in there with a fucking harpoon and be like, "Get the fuck out of there!"
I want to.
I'm not one of these people like you're an asshole if you go out in public. Like I wanted to reopen the state. This is getting crazy. But
I want to bump people though.
But why would you? Hey. You want it? You need to go and have a drink that badly that you're going to do that. I don't get it. I understand going to it as like a goof and like trying to just like, fuck with people, I guess. But
I mean, I could just go get some Kowloon mix.
That had to. Well, I didn't look into the whole. That had to just be like a stunt, right?
I don't
like they can't be like this is a serious. This is actually how we're going to run the bar.
Don't know, man. I saw it and I threw it in there.
That's crazy. Do you remember those toys? I don't forget what they're called, but it was like a bouncy ball with like a plastic skateboard thing going all the way around. You remember those things? What were those things called? That's what it reminded me of. Because it's like now you have to roll around on these things. You want to go to the bar, but it's like,
what are your thoughts on gender reveals?
I mean, I'm single, so I'm not having a baby anytime soon.
I saw one yesterday where
I have friends. I only have two friends who have babies at this point. So
I saw one yesterday. They got their backs turned, the couple or whatever. They turn around and they start firing pink fucking, pink like paint at the guy. And the girl starts jumping up and down. Her sister like grabs her or whatever. He just does this little fucking doom, doo-doom, doo-doom, doo-doom into the pool.
I don't think I've ever seen a man excited about what's going on in the gym.
And all of a sudden, in my head, I'm like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Yeah.
Just
freezes and zooms in on his face like
at the bottom of the pool, dude. But it was so that gender reel was funny. But then the other day, this girl was trying to throw like a ball to this dude to hit them.
I saw this one,
and
actually.
He kept striking out.
Barstool was like, "Congrats to Giancarlo Stanton."
Yeah, exactly. But like, out.
What's the
on
point?
gender reveals?
It's just making. I don't know. I feel like you're just making it about you. Telling people you're having a baby is one thing.
Yeah.
Doing the whole party.
Speaking of
there's
parties,
people out there who don't think there's more than like. There's people who are offended by the idea of only like a boy or a girl. You know what I mean?
True.
So I wonder what those people think about it. They probably don't like it.
Speaking of parties, what are your thoughts on Zoom parties or Zoom in general?
I think it's. I don't mind it. I've done a couple things where with my friends who also are into wrestling, and there's like nothing to watch, so we get on Zoom and we start sharing old like classic clips on WWE Network, which I'm sure you know. There's fucking watch anything, it's been incredible because we've been putting on classic like Monday Night Wars clips and like just dying laughing at the outrageousness of it all because we're all like grown-ups now. And back then we were complete marks and took it all seriously, but now we're just watch Kevin Nash like fucking trying to rumble on down to the ring. The way he runs is just ridiculous looking. Hollywood Hogan spray painting people. Holy shit to that. Is that autographed? You had him autographed Shears?
Do you see it? Hall of Fame 2019, baby.
It's worth like $42.
Hey.
It's the memory that counts, you know.
More than what we're making.
We watched clips with Brutus Beefcake as the disciple. Remember when he was the disciple?
Yeah.
And we were cracking up because like I have one of my best friends is like a savant about this. She knows like everything, and you go in about like how everybody at WWF and WCW sort of had gimmicks based on their real life.
Yes.
And like Brutus Beefcakes was known as being like the head lackey of Hulk Hogan. It's just his personal ass kisser. And so, like, they made him the disciple and had him carry the belt around and just stand there while Hogan cut his promos.
I can't.
Cracked me up.
I like Brother Brudai. We've built a relationship over the last year or two. So
really,
I can't comment.
Yeah, he's got some Hogan stories. Man.
He's a nice guy. He really is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was a local guy too for a period of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we've done the Zoom parties, but I think that's where it's like, it's conducive to if you're like sharing, like if you're doing a watch party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd fare with, like, I've done a couple where you're just sitting there talking, but it gets awkward and nobody knows.
Dude, you want to drink some White Claws with me on Zoom?
Yeah. Like, it's different if it's like two guys like you and me, but if it's like get to 4 people or whatever, it's all over the place.
I'd get a little bored.
And I'm always the one saying like the most fucked up thing, and everyone's like, okay. And I'm like, all right.
Were you afraid?
Be by myself now.
All right, so I'll ask this one and then head into quarantine.
Quarantine.
But
I feel like I've been showcasing my chest here for everybody this whole time.
What will you most remember about this quarantine? So like me, I there's Tiger King, there's like the murder hornets, there was UFOs at one point. Jay Cutler, like, is lazy again.
I forgot about most of these things actually already.
I'm just like trying to think like what else happened. Obviously there was the Jordan documentary, which there's WrestleMania happened and it sucked. I'm just trying to think like what stands out the most for you so far.
WrestleMania might have stood out the most because that was just weird, and like I had fun watching it. I actually liked the shit they did where they like filmed it like the Undertaker match. I actually thought
the Boneyard.
Cool. I thought the John Cena thing was the best thing they did.
I thought that was awesome. The Firefly Funhouse.
That was really fun.
You understood it, right? Like
I didn't get all the references, but I sort of knew what they were doing. Yeah.
Let me break it down for you. John Cena years ago had a chance to hit Bray Wyatt with a chair and he didn't. But
I didn't know this part. Yeah.
But if he did that, it kind of would have been like John Cena turns heel. So when they did the Firefly match, they made it as if John Cena was a heel, kind of like when Hulk Hogan turned. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the NWO thing happened. That's why, there was like all these things. And then he finally does try to hit him with a chair, but he moves. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it was kind of like a, hey, this could have been your life if you did this, similar to what Hogan's was.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
I'm
you know
like
what I mean?
I'm your guardian angel of death.
Yeah. But it
Yeah,
was it
they
was
should
done
have
right.
done that with Cena. They should have done that a long time ago. Was make Cena a true heel. That's how The Rock took off.
He
Was
said
that he gave up on the fans and started saying "Die, Rocky, die," and
he said he'll never do it. Like he says he'll never be heel.
that's what Stone Cold did. Like he was supposed to be a bad guy, but fans just kept cheering him and cheering him, so they had no choice but to make him fight Vince.
I will tell you this though, and so I love wrestling podcasts. You know, something to wrestle with Bruce Pritchard is, you know, probably the trendsetter, the trailblazer. 83 Weeks is awesome. Lately I've been listening to Talk is Jericho.
I've listened to that one before, yeah.
And there's a episode when he had this cruise, and we'll wrap it up in a minute here. They had this cruise, and he's talking to Jericho. Sorry, it's Jericho interviewing Bischoff, Scott Hall, Diamond Dallas Page, and Booker T. And they said, hey, you know, how did the NWO start and what happened?
This is like a round table.
Yeah, and I guess Hogan was doing Thunder in Paradise, so he was away. He wasn't, like, the gimmick wasn't working anymore. The I am a real American. It was because WCW was going a different direction, you know, and he couldn't come back to WWE because they were going Attitude Era. So there was talks about the third man. Remember how it was Scott Hall and then his big buddy Diesel or Kevin Nash.
Yep, it was the third man. I remember that.
And they kept talking about this third man
before it happened. Yeah, I remember the whole build-up.
And so Bischoff goes, the third man was going to be Sting. It was it was going to be Sting.
Imagine you think about how different the course of wrestling history would be if they did that instead of Hulk Hogan.
But Sting was never a heel either. Don't forget about that.
No. It would have had a similar effect, but making Hulk Hogan into a heel was the greatest decision ever made.
So
he spanned both companies at that point, and like the entire wrestling world was like, "What they're doing that." So it's like
Trouble in Paradise was like being filmed in fucking somewhere in Florida, and so they were like, "Hey, they were in town for something," and Bischoff came by, and Hogan was just like, "Listen, so who's gonna be the third man?" And Bischoff like wouldn't give it away, and he goes, "It's me." And I guess like Bischoff was like, you know, like, oh, we turning Hulk Hogan heel. Like it was like his mind was just.
It just started at that point.
But
like Hogan asked him, and then he looked him in the eye, like, "Oh, actually."
But it was technically Hogan that came up with the idea. Like
really.
Yeah, like it was technically Hogan that was like, because I guess they were telling Hogan his gimmick's not working anymore. Like you got to change it up, and so he must have been thinking about it. Like, hey, I'll be the third man because it makes sense. Two WWE guys with the WWE guy. Macho Man came over later. Anyway,
that's true. Yeah, a lot of them are.
But if you ever talk, and a fucking $1 Million Man,
Virgil or whatever they call him,
Vincent. But yeah, Talk is Jericho. If you ever want to listen to it, it's really, dude. Tonight. This is actually something I wanted to bring up to listeners. Tonight on Viceland is the final episode of Dark Side of the Ropes. Dark Side of the Ring.
That's another one I need to get into. That's been good.
Dude, awesome. Like I wouldn't even like bullshit you. The opening episode is a 2-part Chris Benoit.
Right, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, and there's one about New Jack.
But New Jack was awesome because it's about Revere, Mass, and like what happened.
Right, yeah, mass transit.
Exactly. But like the 2-part Jericho one, Benoit one, Jericho comes off as a fucking saint, dude, a saint, and he narrates every single episode of all of them.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that. But the Benoit one it's about Benoit, but like Eddie Guerrero, you know, big time Eddie Guerrero stuff. Yeah. Nancy Benoit, Vicky Guerrero's in it, like. And then it's got Benoit's kid, and like it's
heavy
deep.
Shit.
It's fucking deep.
I never looked too much into that story. I was, still in like high school / college when that happened.
And dude, like there's one on Jimmy Snuka, like doesn't look
he did some bad things, right? Or
doesn't make Vince McMahon look good. Vince McMahon doesn't come out, you know.
Oh, well, Vince,
but they're all good then. Like Dr. D, he like never broke kayfabe ever, and he smacked a fucking reporter from 2020 in the face, and like became a bounty hunter. Like it was just like
became a Dr. Death, same guy.
Not Dr. Death, Steve Williams, but Dr. D, I forget
remember.
Dr. Dawson, I think is what they call. But dude, these were awesome. Like these are fucking great. And the last year they had the Von Erichs, and like that was a sad.
Yeah. The Kennedys of the WWE.
But tonight is Owen Hart, man.
Oh shit, really?
Like
I watched that shit live. That was weird.
But like, come on, this guy should be. Owen Hart was one of the best characters ever. Forget about being Bret Hart's brother. You know, like
Owen was amazing. A promo guy.
Great wrestler, great promo. He was a part of the Nation of Domination.
He fucking wiped the floor with his older brother in the promo department.
Yep,
and he was a comparable performer.
Great heel, good heel. He was a
really great heel,
great face. He could wrestle, grapple. It's weird, but he reminds me of fucking the girl in A League of Their Own, the little baby sister. You know, the fucking there's Dottie,
the one but she's like the star, right?
Yeah, the one who Dottie's the catcher sister. And then her fucking
and the other one who goes to the other team.
And then she knocks her over at the end. Like it just reminds me of Owen Hart. I don't know why. Trying to make a comparison there. Anyway,
Bret versus Owen, classic at WrestleMania 10. Classic.
But that one's tonight, and I just
I'll have to watch that. I mean, is it like there's there conspiracy stuff, or does it only deal with like what we know, like what actually happened?
Truths, and that's it.
That's good.
And that's why they do it, because they have experts come on and talk about. They did the Montreal Screwjob too, which was really.
That's good. I was saying. There's one that I'm forgetting.
But dude, Viceland, you pop that bad boy, and they're free on fucking YouTube. I have Viceland.
Oh really? I was gonna say, where do I even get Viceland?
Yeah, try Viceland. I have the remote that I just say Viceland, and it just fucking.
Okay.
Dude,
I got one of those too. Yeah.
Thank God for that damn remote, right? Because
I like the voice search a lot.
I'm like Sopranos. Yeah. Fucking
they can't understand me though, so I usually say like 852 or like whatever the number is, and it goes to it.
All right, dude. We'll wrap it up here. Quarantine. What shows have you been watching currently during quarantine?
Okay, I did a lot of video games actually. I bought a Nintendo Switch right before we had to close all the businesses, so I bought The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild with that. I'm a huge Legend of Zelda guy. Love Ocarina of Time. Love the old ones. And I played the shit out of that for way too many hours outside of work, of course. And but like other than that, like I tried watching Tiger King, didn't finish it. Not too interested in like psycho trash shows that much. Like I don't know. I don't care. I think it just happened to be the thing that everybody was watching that week, and it's not really like the greatest documentary ever or whatever, based on what I've seen. I tried that. I watched a lot of old wrestling clips like I was talking about with my buddies. And I've tried to get back into like older movies that I either haven't seen or haven't watched in a while. On Netflix, they had a bunch of old classic 90s movies. I did a Sling Blade and Philadelphia double feature the other night.
Philadelphia.
Have you seen those movies?
I saw Philadelphia in the movie theater, and it was fucking sad.
In the theater? You're like 6.
No, I did. I saw it. Yeah, I saw that.
What's age?
Dude, I'm 38. I'm old.
I figure I don't.
I saw that. I saw Forrest Gump in the theater.
I saw that in the theater. Yeah. I didn't think I didn't think Tom. I didn't get what was so great about Tom Hanks before. I think it was just that he played a guy who had AIDS, and that was like new. It was like a new topic at the time. Nobody had addressed it, so it's like he got credit for that. But Denzel was better in the movie than he was.
Absolutely,
it was a good movie.
But
they should have incorporated the Bruce Springsteen song a little more.
Because the streets of
it was a great song, and it was a good theme song. And like they play it when Denzel like accepts his case.
Yeah.
You know that great scene where he comes in and he's like, "What happened to you?" "I have AIDS." It's like, and then they go over the whole thing. Like they play the song there. They should have kept playing it. That's like that was a great theme song. It would have been a better movie, I thought. It was a good movie, I thought, but I liked Sling Blade a lot more.
Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Ritter was in that movie too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Ritter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that, and I thought that movie was good. The music is way better in Sling Blade, I thought.
I'll tell you this. So I've watched Better Call Saul is my favorite show.
Really? Okay.
There were some seasons you got to get through it, but it makes sense.
I think I'm right in the middle of the seasons where you just got to get through it.
Like he's got a brother who's what's his name? Not Kevin Nealon. What the fuck is his name?
Oh, Michael McKean.
Yeah, Michael McKean. And get through that because it's worth it.
Yeah, that guy was weird. The guy that can't go outside, or
Yeah, and he like has to wear like these like electrical blanket things or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the like really Breaking Bad-ish to me, like where they have these like sort of weird cartoony characters.
keep
It's
watching,
like
dude, because now we're I'm at season 5, so we've broken it. Spoiler alert: Gus is still on the show. Lolo's whatever, Los Polos chicken, whatever the fuck.
yeah, spoiler: Gus is gonna live. Sorry, guys.
Gus is gonna live. The cartel is involved. Oh, and he might be involved.
Yeah,
like
just saying.
He might be involved. But yeah, it gets to that. It gets to, remember the dude in the wheelchair who had the fucking bell? Remember that guy?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. He's big part. Like, it's like, and then it goes to Mexico too. So like, you want to like find out what happens there. It's good.
Yeah.
There's another
I'll
show.
check it out. I love Breaking Bad. I just,
The other show I've been watching too is Dave. It's about Little Dicky, the rapper.
I've heard about this show.
It's so fucking funny.
I like Andrew Santino, the comedian who's on that show.
Dude,
so I want to check it out.
30 minutes of fucking laughter.
Really?
Laughter.
I never been a Little Dicky guy whenever I see him. It just seems annoying to me.
I never was. I had a Jewish friend who loved to rap and loved fucking Little Dicky. The show is essentially a Jewish kid who's a rapper who's uncomfortable about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's like what the show's about. It's
like he's good, so it's like I have to keep doing this because I'm talented, but I hate it.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Like the rappers are like, you're the man, dude, but they're so weird about him. They're like,
yeah,
you're so fucking weird. How are you a rapper? Like that kind of type. That's what the show is. It's uncomfortable laughter.
It's on Netflix.
No, it's on FXX.
FX
or Hulu.
Okay.
If you have Hulu, and then I like Insecure. It's a show on.
I've heard of that. Yeah, HBO.
Issa Rae, she's fucking great. So, those are what snacks have you been fucking? What's been like your go-to snack?
That's a really good question, Joe, because I'm on the ketogenic diet right now. Are you familiar with keto at all?
You're trying to get into ketosis?
I'm in ketosis. I've lost a lot of weight.
Wow, really?
I don't know if you could tell. I used to have a couple chins down here, but it's sort of doing the job. I'm down like 25 pounds in the last 4 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I was fat for a long time through like high school, half of college. Then I tried this diet and I lost a bunch of weight like 5 or 6 years ago, and everyone was talking about how different I looked. You could probably look up an old picture of me on Facebook and be like, holy shit, same guy. Then I ballooned all the way back up to about 250 or so. And so I was like, okay, now it's time to get my shit together, and I'm actually going to try the keto now. And the key to it is sticking to it, but that's why it's not successful with a lot of people, is because they can't stick to it, because you can't eat bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, like basically anything good.
Anything you want.
You can't eat anything made from a potato.
But you can eat like like I would eat.
I'm half Italian. I like pasta.
I'd eat string cheese all fucking day.
This is what you do. Yeah, you eat all the meat you want. You can put like butter on food because there's nothing in butter, but you don't want to have too much of that. You can put you can have like butter and mayo and mustard because there's no carbs in that. But yeah, you can have meat, cheese, and so for a snack, what I do is I just have like a bag of or like a handful of like peanuts or almonds. Like that stuff's good for you.
But I eat like pepperoni.
You know what I do is I'll pull a Tony Soprano and I'll get some cold cuts and cheese and just roll that up and eat that shit.
Gabagool.
Bread.
Get some fucking gabagool.
Hey, fucking gabagool.
Like me, I would probably get a bag.
I saw the fucking Uncle Ben's and I passed the fuck out.
I came home from the Bing and I stopped at Satchelli's, and I got
the fucking boyfriend home, and then I'm not going to get into that.
I know, but I would eat pepperonis and cheese and crackers. Is that okay?
That's a pepperoni, dude. Pepperoni and cheese, underrated snack. You don't even need crackers. Just eat the pepperoni and cheese.
Pepperoni and the fucking cheese, man.
0 carbs. It's amazing. If you can stick to a diet where that's all you eat, you don't even have to work out that much.
I love.
You do the standard 30 minutes a day of walking, and you stick to the diet, and your body just starts. Literally what happens is your body stops depending on carbs because you're not giving it carbs, and it starts to depend on fat for energy. So the fat just fucking melting off of me.
So I'm a large human. I used to bench for over 300 pounds, like fucking lift weights, like whatever. Once you stop, dude, the day you stop lifting or working out, it goes to your belly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a fat ass. I don't have fat legs. I don't have fat arms. Belly. Nowhere
Yeah.
else. It's like
It's the last thing to go too if you lose weight.
exactly, dude. Like, but for me, I never drank coffee before. I was never a coffee person. And all of a sudden I got hooked on iced coffee. Because I worked a lot of hours, dude. Like, I get up at 6 a.m., take the train, I need an iced coffee. Like, I'd be at my desk 9 a.m. fucking coffee.
I feel the same about iced coffee. Dunkin' Donuts must put like fucking MSG in their coffee or something. You wake up and your zombie brain's like, oh,
I can't do it anymore. So I got addicted to Starbucks. Dude, Starbucks gives me a buzz, like a fucking real buzz.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I was drinking French vanillas every day with cream. No sugar, just cream. And dude, I probably was drinking 3 a day. And I'd get like
large, like the biggest one you can get.
Fucking Trenta large, dude. And
that's literally like 3,000 calories if you put enough cream in it.
So, dude, I get like a muffin with it too, like a blueberry muffin or some shit. And it's been like 55 days, and I haven't had a fucking coffee. And like,
you haven't had any coffee whatsoever. You're not even making it at home.
Not one coffee, dude. And legitimately, like, my fucking pants don't fit. And like, I haven't done anything
in a good way. They're too big for you.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I still eat pasta and fucking get pizza and all that bullshit, but like,
yeah, that's a lot of people have that same philosophy where it's just based on what you eat. Once you start putting good stuff in you,
like
I'm not going to stick with keto forever. I just want to lose the weight. Once I get to a weight I like, I'm going to transition back into a normal diet. But like, yeah, as long as you don't eat donuts and like junk all day.
Like, this T-shirt I'm wearing is I got it at some sort of cop thing. And it was a XX. I don't fit into a XX. I'm actually I'm 6'3", so I'm tall. So like, I'm really like a 4X, or a 3 XLT.
What is the T?
The extra?
I think I know what the T stands for.
Tall. But I'm wearing a XX right now, and it fucking fits. It's a little tight, but it fits.
There you go.
Do you know who Otis is in WWE? He just won.
Yeah, big boy.
Most of my shirts, I look like Otis with the belly.
I hate Stacks Calhoun over here.
It only goes up to that. Anyways, enough about me. That's another podcast. Your favorite frozen food?
Oh man, probably cookie dough ice cream.
Oh, I bought Richardson's cookie dough ice cream this week. A fucking gallon. I still have it.
Amazing. Richardson's is the best. I actually got keto chocolate chip ice cream recently. Of course, I ate the whole pint. And there's like 4 servings in it. Excuse me. Yeah, there's actually keto ice cream where they use this like weird, like artificial sweetener that counts as a carb, and so like it counts as part of the carbs, but it doesn't go into your body. So like it's only like 2 net carbs, but you're eating ice cream somehow. And I was like, this is dangerous. Like, this is what happens with keto. This is how people fall out of keto, is they start to eat like fucking keto fruity pebbles and shit like that. It's like, no, you got to eat real food. You can't eat this like fake like pizza, right? Keto creations.
You don't get a pizza and just eat the cheese and the sauce.
Yeah, you can make apparently there's keto pizza recipes. I don't know how that works.
Cauliflower?
But like, that's just people lying to themselves. You're not serious about losing weight if you're like, I can't fucking I gotta have something with sugar in it or whatever.
You ready for this? Okay.
Oh boy.
This is the fat guys always need to eat better, so we try to find a way out of it. Bonza, Bonza. It is essentially chickpeas, but I
feel like I've seen these in the store before.
Looks like pasta. So what I do is I buy the Bonza, I boil it like it's pasta, like a fucking pasta. I put sauce on it and I eat it, but it's not pasta. It's chickpeas. So you're not eating pasta. You think you're eating pasta.
Yeah. Well, that I actually did the same thing with the zucchini, which is I got this little tool where you stick a piece of zucchini in and you screw it and it turns it into like spaghetti.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do that with.
That's how you have keto pasta, but that's actually good.
Yeah, I've done that with spaghetti squash.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's incredible. I do buffalo spaghetti squash. Fucking put sauce on it. Buffalo Brussels sprouts, dude. Now we're talking.
Everybody says, bro, I've never tried Brussels sprouts. I don't think.
Me too.
That's a good keto food, but I haven't tried it.
And this brings up the last question here. What has been your most obscure purchase during quarantine? I did an Instacart one day, and they
I
gave
gotta
me
look around.
they gave
Continue.
me they gave me everything I needed, but they gave me an extra bag, and the bag had avocados, a head of lettuce, fucking broccoli, and a box of baby spinach. Now, if you've ever heard me, you know I'm out on salad. I'm out on all that shit. Is somebody fuck with me? Like giving me a bag of fucking avocados and a head of lettuce? Instacart.
Avocados are guacamole. Just make some fucking guac.
I'm out on guac.
You're out on guac,
I
huh?
don't like the way people make it and the squish sound that it makes.
Oh, you're one of those squeamish type of people. Well, texture is important. Texture can, like a bad texture that can make you queasy.
Now, could you eat like salsa?
Salsa's not bad. Yeah, salsa is minimal carbs.
You put cheese in that shit?
You can have cheese. Yeah.
Salsa.
Yeah, most cheese is like 1 gram of carbohydrate at the most.
What about sour cream?
Sour cream, I think, is also good. Yeah, sour cream's good, and cream cheese is good. You know what I did once is I made. This is another instance of lying to myself. So I made keto mashed potatoes with cauliflower instead of potato.
I like cauliflower.
What you have to do is you have to put cream cheese or sour cream in it to give it like the fluffiness of a mashed potato. Not good. Not good. I need to go back to real mashed potatoes if I'm going to do that again. But so what was the question?
Most obscure purchase. Uh-oh. I think your headset went under. Yeah, I think we lost your headset. No. We lost you. There he is. Hi. Up.
You hear me?
Hi, there you go. You're back.
All right, I don't know what happened there. I have these headphones cost like $40.
Well, what'd you buy?
I got a little like step trash can for my bathroom recently because I don't want to touch the thing.
Yeah, stuff like
one day I just looked in the trash, and I wanted a thing with a lid so I didn't have to look into it. And one day I looked in it, and just the hair and the fucking toilet paper with stains on it, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So I got a thing with a lid on it, so I don't have to look at my disgusting shit that comes off my body anymore.
Well, Matt Dolloff, I got to tell you, the 2 hours and 21 minutes that we did this podcast today, I did not think that.
2.5 hours. Wow.
I think this might be the longest running podcast on Just Sittin Here.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I did 2 hours with Dr. Football, John Serenides. So I wonder if yours or his is the longest.
Well, let's filibuster here a little bit. How much time we got? Would you like to hear a story about grandfather clocks? It began in 1622 in a quiet little village called North Andover.
Hey, by the way, North Andover, Casablanca, you ever had them for fucking...
oh, yeah.
That was a good little Mexican joint.
It's a good little place, yeah.
I used to get off at that exit 43 there, hit up that mobile station right there. Right, and then there's a little Tewksbury fucking McDonald's down the street.
Take a little road down 114, end up in lovely Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Oh, I've been there. I know the area very well.
The place sucks.
Well, Methuen leads into Salem, New Hampshire.
Yep.
There's a fucking Popeyes there. I know that.
Yeah, there's a Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, Texas Roadhouse, that's right.
You start going into Salem.
Yeah, and then you're yeah. So I know my way around.
You've been around Merrimack Valley a little bit, sounds.
I have been in the area.
I know a lot of weed dealers, so I guess that makes a lot of sense.
But if you like that, High Maintenance, HBO.
That's a TV show?
Watch it. What you just mentioned, weed dealers,
like a comedy,
High Maintenance.
Okay,
you'll fucking love it.
It's like Silicon Valley or something, but with potheads.
No, it's kind of like oh shit. It's kind of like oh man, how do I explain it? It's a weed dealer, and when he meets people, these people go through things. So like, he meets somebody and smokes with them, and then they go through something, and the episode's about them. And then he meets somebody else, and then he does, and it's like,
Well, that's interesting. You could write that show forever.
They know shit. It's called High Maintenance.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I'll look at it. It's on HBO. It's probably at least decent.
HBO. It's very good. HBO doesn't do anything bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's a baseline level of quality with an HBO show.
Last night, the wife had fucking the show Pen 15 on last night.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I know. I watched.
Billions is a show I want to get into because
Billions.
that's on Showtime.
I had Dan Soder on my podcast, on this very own podcast.
Really? When?
Look it up.
You had Dan Soder on?
Did you know that you can find all our episodes on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes? You can listen to previous episodes. You can listen to Matt Dolloff's interview from today. You can listen to Ty Anderson, who you work with.
There's the cat.
What's the cat's name?
Stella.
Poor Stella restaurant in the North End. Stella. Anyways, who else has been on? We had John Anik from the Voice of UFC last week. We've had all the hits. We had Big Jim Murray. We talked a lot of food and music. That was very fun. Yeah, we've had all the pretty much everybody but the main guys on the Sports Hub.
It's been really fucking fun, man. I think I said before, but this is the first time I've been on like a long form, free flowing kind of podcast where you just talk about whatever. Because I feel like I've been in a box where I have to talk about sports.
Yeah,
and they're breaking down the 3-4, and it's like, what am I doing? I just want to talk shit, you know.
Matt, if you're gonna make it in this business, dude, and this is what I'm learning. And listen, I'm just an old guy who's been fucking hanging around. I'm like that boxer that's just like he's
you're just sitting there.
Yeah, no, but like, I'm knocking on that door. I want to be fucking full time. I want to be, and the reason why I want is because I feel like I can come up with content. You know what I mean? Like, I know what works. I know talking about the hits and playing the hits works, but like, how long is that going to go for? How long will playing the hits go for?
Felger has an unhealthy obsession with staying as high as he is in the ratings, so they hammer the most controversial topics.
But I'll tell you, I'm not going to be that guy. You know what I mean? And that's great for him. He's fucking going to be the best going. But like, hey, if I get 4 or 5 hours on a fucking day, it's going to be, hey, shit, this is what we got for a TV show today. Here's what we're going to fucking do in music. Yeah. Like, relate shit going on to the world. That's like, and I think that's the hardest thing to do is continue to create content. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I'm trying to use this whole shutdown as like an opportunity, like getting back to like bringing back my website. Like I've just been trying to come up with new ideas to create stuff. I mean, I just want to branch out from what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I want my content that's on the Sports Hub to look a little differently moving forward because I want to be who I really am, like what I think I'm good at. So
hey, you just
probably gonna look a little different. This might be a bit of an intro to that.
Yeah. This
might listen to this and be like, is this that weird stuck-up asshole I heard on Adam Jones the other night? Who's this guy?
But listen, we got a taste of it and it worked. I laughed. We kept you on. I could have cut you off a while ago.
I thought it would be a fucking hour. I didn't know we kept going, like Rogan or something.
I don't know, around MTV talk or Tom Green. I don't know. It just kind of went off the fucking. And then we got into Game of Thrones and Sopranos, and those are fucking touchy.
It was like Tarantino. He like started talking about Sopranos, then went on an entire Game of Thrones tangent, then came back to Sopranos, then went on a tangent about Jordan.
Yeah, and then Beavis and Butthead somewhere in the middle there, and now we need TP. It just fucking went full circle. All right, he is Matt Dolloff. Dolloff. Like Gandalf.
The original spelling, I think, was DAHL, something like that. And then the fucking idiot at Ellis Sound was like, "Oh, you said doll?" I go, "Okay."
So Matt Dolloff.
Yeah, Dolloff.
Like Gandalf.
There's other people with the same name that say Dolloff, but it's like, what? That just sounds stupid. You sound like a fucking commie.
Dolloff. Matt Dolloff. Matthew Dolloff. Matthew Dolloff.
Yeah, Matt. Right? My grandma called me Matthew.
My Joseph, dude, that's my court name. Like that's fuck that.
Yeah, that's the name that's on the police reports if you go look them up.
All right, everybody. Tomorrow, I am not having a guest. I am doing a solo show, question and answer.
Hey, you gotta deal with me for a few days.
That's right.
Have fun with that.
And then it's Memorial Day weekend, and I'll be on with Felger and Maz. Go figure.
So you're doing the headlines. You're taking Jim Murray's place.
Actually, I'm not sure. I think Felger's out.
Oh, really? Okay.
So maybe I'll be with Jim, and maybe we'll kick Maz out. We'll have the Murray and Murray show.
Have you done a show with Big Jim Murray before?
We have on the weekends, but we've never actually done like a show.
not a full like weekend.
We've talked about this. Big J, you can go back to you can listen to previous episodes once again on Spotify.
I will.
But yeah, me and Jim talked about it, and I asked him. I go, "Hey, do you hate having another Murray at the station?" And he's like, no, not really. I'm like, yeah, but dude, like people tweet me about you all the time.
Yeah, so sorry if you've been asked before. Are you Jim Murray related?
No,
because I just thought you both had J names, and like maybe your dad thought he liked J names.
Nope. Just he's from Melrose. I'm from Hyde Park, and those are two different complete.
Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts, so I thought,
yeah, no, two complete.
I am Murray, real fucking rare last. The funniest thing is there's another Dolloff family in North Andover.
Wow,
not related.
Yeah, well,
like not really. Maybe if you found a connection like from fucking 300 years ago or something, but
well, my original
related. So like I got asked all the time. I was related to this fucking other Dolloff who was getting Fs and like accidentally sending my report card to my parents. So I was and I'm like, it's not me.
Well, I used to be.
I do okay in school.
I used to be Joey Murr. That's what I went by for years. My friends called me Joey Murr because there was a bunch of Joe Murrays in my area. Like, think about how many Irish Catholic Joe Murrays there are in fucking Boston. Okay,
it's stupid. Like, you probably have a brother named Joe Murray.
My brother's John Murray. But yes, you know what I mean? So, but point of my story was when I got in the radio, I was Joey Murr. Well, come to find out, there's another fucking somebody who goes by Murr. You know what I mean?
Joe Murray. Your name's like the fucking. Your name's the shredded wheat of names. It's like it's the most generic thing.
Yeah, I know. And then I get to the
sport. Your name would be Bob. That's the only way. Bob Murray is the only more generic name you can get.
Like I want to go by Bubba or just like something.
Do it. Oh, I guess that was already taken. There's already a big guy named Bubba.
That's what I'm saying. I can't find a damn radio name. But when Mike Thomas hired me, he goes, "You're gonna go by Joe Murray," and that's it.
See, you should be the big Murray. You're big Joe. Well, it should be Jim Murray's tall, but he's not like. You don't look at him like this guy's a behemoth.
6'3".
You're the guy that 10 people gang up on in the Royal Rumble to eliminate all together.
The one man gang. The one man gang.
You like eliminate 12 people and you're all by yourself saying, "Oh, look how good this is," and then all of a sudden Stone Cold comes out. It's like,
comes out, gives me a can of whoop ass. All right, I'm ending this. He's Matt Dolloff.
I'm keeping you. I'm filibustering so we can get the longest podcast.
I think we've hit that. Q&A tomorrow. Again, just sitting there on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. Thank you, Matt Dolloff. For all
I really appreciate the time. This is really fucking fun. I hope we get to do it again sometime.
All right, everybody. Q&A tomorrow here on Just